West News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. It's 5:02. I'm Manda Factor, and here's what's happening. The House has passed a bill to make daylight saving time permanent. The Sunshine Protection Act now heads to the Senate, where Washington Senator Patty Murray has pushed for the change for years. The death of a security guard at a Kent health clinic has been ruled a homicide now. 62-year-old Samson Muhammad of Tacoma died in May, 4 months after being pushed to the sidewalk at a Health Point clinic. Tacoma police have made an arrest in a homicide from exactly 2 years ago today. 24-year-old Chasten Files is charged with second-degree murder in the shooting death of Sean Miller near the Tacoma Dome. J.P. Morgan Chase says it's growing its AI and cybersecurity teams in Seattle, calling the city a hub for tech talent. And a dog named Nico is safe after chasing a rabbit off a 40-foot cliff in Graham over the weekend. A Pierce County deputy had to rappel down to bring her back. It's 5:03. Time for a check on traffic on this early Wednesday morning. Chris Sullivan is here. Good morning.
Good morning, Manda. We're doing really well, as you would imagine, as we start this hump day. Looking at all green on the map so far. Olympia to Tacoma is only 35 minutes. Tacoma itself is quiet, much better than we saw at this time yesterday. And then Federal Way to Seattle is only 35 minutes. The Valley Freeway, Puyallup to Renton, 35 as well. Renton to Bellevue, no problems for you guys. Got about a 15-minute trip there. The lake bridges are quiet coming down from the north end. All good from Burlington all the way down through Seattle or Bellevue. Only 35 minutes from Everett to either one of those destinations. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Bringing you Seattle's morning news since 1974. This is KIRO Newsradio.
It is 5:04 now. On this morning's edition of Start Here, host Brad Milkey takes a look at the current situation in Russia, with troops dwindling as the war with Ukraine continues.
Yesterday, a bipartisan group of lawmakers came together to honor the late Senator Lindsey Graham. They did it not only with their words, but with their actions. They unveiled the bill he had been working on for years and want to put it forward for a vote.
I urge Senator Thune, in honor of Lindsey, to put the Russian sanctions bill on the floor immediately.
This bill would sanction Russian energy exports and punish the countries who buy them. But when it comes to Russia's war against Ukraine, those death tolls continue to mount. And recently, we've been hearing from more and more families of Russian soldiers who are not Russian at all. These soldiers are not from the former USSR. It's not about that. No, thousands of them are from Africa. Let's bring in ABC's foreign correspondent Patrick Reevell, who is based in Moscow for years. He's in London right now. Patrick, you actually went to a Ukrainian POW camp to report out this story. What did you find there?
Yeah, Brad. So we drove to this prisoner of war camp in western Ukraine. It's one of the biggest camps for Russian POWs that Ukraine has.
So let's go, follow me. I'll show you how it looks like.
Ukraine basically allows the media to come in once a month to meet with Russian prisoners and meet with prisoners of war there. The camp itself was like this old Soviet prison. There were big crumbling stone warehouse buildings. It's a work camp, it's a labor camp. So the prisoners are expected to work while they're in the camp.
Every POW has his own account, and they can earn money, and their relatives can send their money too.
We were allowed to more or less walk around quite freely. We were brought into this big exercise yard, and there were just hundreds of Russian POWs, all in blue uniforms.
Yeah, and what's it like here? Какая ситуация здесь?
There were a few Ukrainian guards who kind of stood within eyesight of us, but didn't interfere as we talked to people.
You've been here 8 months.
We were taken into another yard.
Where are you guys from?
From
Iran. Iraq.
Lined up there were just lots of men from Africa.
I'm from Egypt, but I live in Dubai.
Asia.
Where are you from?
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka. Wow.
Who, for a variety of reasons, had ended up in the Russian military.
What was it like on the front?
I see a lot of things in my life. I can't forget, sir. This was very bad.
Oh, wait, Patrick, I'm sorry. Russia's a giant country. It's got 100 million people. Why does Russia need African troops fighting its war?
So the simplest answer is that Russia has taken enormous casualties in this war. The latest estimate by some researchers is 1.4 million injured and killed in this war. And the other problem is that the Kremlin wants to pretend to most Russians that this war is quite far away. And so Russia has been reluctant to declare a general mobilization, so it's not able to call on all of its huge population. Instead, it basically needs people to sign up who are willing to come for money.
How many African people do we know are serving in the Russian armed forces at this point?
So we don't have an exact number, but according to this Swiss-based group called Impact, which tracks the recruitment of Africans and other foreign fighters, around 4,000 Africans have been recruited to fight for Russia.
Most of African recruits are used as a cannon fodder.
As one researcher said to me, they use the African fighters mostly as cannon fodder. They come over, they're often not well trained, and in any case, they then force them towards the front line because they want to use them in an assault wave. They want to send this wave of bodies forward to try and exhaust Ukrainian troops and ammunition.
The average time for African fighters in the Russian army is between 6 months and 1 year. The most of them are killed during the period on the front line.
Ukraine says around 24,000 foreigners are fighting. This is foreigners from other countries and continents as well as Africa, but 24,000 foreigners fighting for Russia.
Okay, so then how does it work? I mean, how do you get African people to sign up for your war that you're not nowhere close to?
So it's a mix.
I'm student business economic 2 years.
There are quite a few who were in Russia as students.
As a dentist, как стоматолог.
Some had volunteered, thinking that it was a good opportunity.
I didn't think about fighting, because really I think war is ending, war is finishing.
And then there's another group who have been actively recruited.
Deliver some message about, come in Russia, it's easy, it's an easy life, you win a lot of money.
There is a network of different visa and employment companies that are sometimes Russian and are sometimes local. Some of them are trying to recruit the men openly, saying, you will come to Russia, you will join the Russian military, and you will get citizenship and money, and you will get quite a sizable sign-on bonus.
Most of them are recruited by the false job offer.
But then there's another group who, for example, might be working as truckers in Africa, and they're told, we'll get you a visa to Russia, it's going to be well-paid work, you're going to be working there as a truck driver, you're going to be working in construction. And once they reach Russia, they find that isn't the case at all. They don't speak Russian, they get taken to a place where they're then presented with a contract they don't really understand, and then they sign on, and they're essentially in the hands of the Russian military.
Why can they take an African to war?
We came across the case of one particular man called Oscar Kagola Mutoka, who was a Kenyan soldier. He was from an elite Kenyan airborne unit, and he traveled to Russia.
If I knew I was coming to join the military, I wouldn't have come. That was his last word.
His sister spoke with us in Kenya.
That was a distress call, because at that point they had taken away their phones. He didn't have his phone.
She says that when Oscar traveled to Russia, he had told her that he believed he was going to work for a packing company. He was recruited by a former Kenyan soldier.
He got a call from a colleague, and he asked him if he had gotten a job and invited him to go to the agent's office.
The way the sister explained it to us is that often recruiters will kind of work through these networks of former soldiers because they're looking for Kenyans and other Africans with military experience.
And basically, the process didn't take more than 1 week.
Oscar's family for months was trying to find out whether he was alive or dead. They couldn't get any answers from the Russian government.
The last time I heard from him was in July last year.
And eventually they learned that he had been killed in Ukraine.
Well, and it's interesting, Russia's government has flat out denied it is recruiting Africans. They say any volunteers join legally, but what do the families do here, Patrick? Because I'm trying to think of this from the family's perspective of, like, my son or my brother or my husband wanted to better his life and his family's life, but to do it, he had to go and join something that wasn't his war. He might not have known he was going to fight, but now he is. Maybe he's even being used essentially like a $20,000 casualty. Like, he dies so Russians don't have to. How do you deal with that if you're one of these families?
I think it's, an agonizing situation for these people. There has been protests in Kenya and in some other African countries calling on the government to do more to stop the recruitment and to pressure Russia to assist in bringing home both the living soldiers and the POWs and also the remains of those that have died. I mean, what we hear from researchers as well is that the Russian military may not even know how many Africans have died fighting for it, because many of them are simply just left on the battlefield, which is also the case with Russian troops.
We were hoping we were going to give my brother a normal burial.
A cameraman working with ABC went to a funeral for Oscar.
We were hoping we were going to bring Oscar back home.
Oscar's family would like to give him a proper burial, but they can't get his body because they don't have the money to repatriate his remains. And the Russian authorities are saying that they must pay to bring them back.
Oscar, my brother. Say hi to Mom.
Right, and you can sense the pressure on Russia here that if they're taking so many casualties among their own people, if they're now actively sort of recruiting this widely across the world. Patrick Reevell, fascinating reporting. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Brad.
That's ABC's Brad Milkey. It's 5:13, another beautiful day on tap. Mostly sunny, 84 for today. Tomorrow still looks like kind of an active weather day. We'll see some showers at times, some sun breaks, but also the threat of some thunder showers and much cooler. A high of only 70 tomorrow. Rebounding for Friday, though. We'll see clouds in the morning, sunshine by afternoon, and 76. Highs for both Saturday and Sunday, either side of 80 with lots of sunshine. Right now in Seattle, it's clear, starting to get light at 60 degrees. Coming up, breaking down how recent ICE shootings are causing a pause in certain enforcements. We'll get to part 2 of ABC's Start Here program next on Seattle's Morning News.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is brought to you by Closets by Design Seattle.
30 years ago,
I wanted to be part of keeping the Seahawks in Seattle long term.
3 decades later,
12, they're bringing the trophy home.
2 Super Bowl championship banners hang in the stadium Paul Allen built. Now, a new era of stewardship begins.
Most things that seem impossible become possible.
And we welcome the Kosla family to Seattle. From the home of the Seahawks since the very beginning, KIRO News Radio.
For 250 years, Americans have believed in one powerful idea, that we are meant to live free. Free to work hard, free to move, free to enjoy life without being held back. But if the natural effects of aging are slowing you down, it might be time to declare your independence from aging. John Curley here. Longevity Medical Clinic has been treating the undesirable effects of aging for nearly 30 years. They have more clinical experience with actual patient care than any longevity practice in the country. I've been a patient for 17 years. Wow, time flies when you got a lot of energy. I don't know where I'd be today without longevity. Longevity Medical Clinic was started so people can get back to living life on their own terms, walking, working, exercising, and enjoying the moments that matter most. This year, as we celebrate 250 years of American independence, take a stand for your own freedom. Get your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. Find out more at lmclinic.com.
30 years ago, Davis Law Group was founded to be the best law firm for our clients and our community. Our core values are to win, help, and serve. It means our success is defined by the difference we make in our clients' lives and the impact we can have in our community. Not by giant settlement checks or shiny offices. Our mission to lift up the vulnerable extends beyond the courtroom to our charity partners, promoting safety, uplifting students, accident victims, foster youth, and the elderly. If you've been injured and want better results for your claim and for all of Washington, call Davis Law Group today.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com.
We all know a cancer diagnosis is physically and emotionally draining, but it can be financially draining too. That's why Northwest Hope and Healing is here to help. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to be part of Northwest Hope and Healing's mission. We provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare so patients can focus on healing. Since the year 2000, we have distributed over $3 million in direct financial assistance to thousands of local cancer patients. And you can make a direct impact. Mark your calendar for Life in Color, a summer brunch, auction, and fashion show on August 23rd at the Somme Hotel and Spa in Woodinville. It's an unforgettable afternoon of hope and inspiration, celebrating local cancer survivors. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 23rd. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
For more than 50 years, the voice Seattle trusts. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
It's now 5:18 on your Wednesday morning. Back to ABC's Start Here program now. Host Brad Mielke is joined by former DHS official John Cohen to talk about a halt on ICE vehicle stops.
Yesterday morning, there were two big stories about the U.S. government. One was about the Iran war. President Trump not only committing naval forces to take control of the Strait of Hormuz, but declaring he would start charging international shippers a toll for the right of safe passage. The other story, though, was here at home, as yet again protesters gathered after a shooting death at the hands of ICE agents during what started as a traffic stop. Well, as the day went on, both these stories took big turns. In Iran, President Trump is no longer calling for tolls on passing ships, instead saying his administration will reach trade agreements with other countries that will accomplish a similar goal.
And we would like to invest tremendously in the United States as opposed to charging a fee. And I like that, actually, because I don't think anybody should be able to charge a fee for the Strait.
Was this because he saw the price of oil spiking once again? Or perhaps because some in his own administration had already stated that charging tolls would break international law? Whatever the reason, President Trump has once again backed down after making a major threat. Well, then, in the other remarkable retreat of the day, Homeland Security Secretary Markwayne Mullin apparently told ICE agents to immediately scale back these vehicle stops. Sources tell ABC News that he personally gave the order after hearing from Maine's Republican Senator Susan Collins. So today, I want to start the show by focusing on this more. What is happening and what needs to change? John Cohen knows about Homeland Security. He's the former assistant DHS secretary. He's now an ABC News contributor. John, what do we know about this new directive?
Well, Brad, it sounds like the Secretary of Homeland Security has instructed ICE, and I would also imagine CBP, to take a step back and to stop these vehicle stops. And I can tell you, Brad, this was the right thing for the Secretary to do.
I was going to say, are you surprised by this sort of decision?
I'm not surprised at all. I mean, as somebody who's been involved in hundreds, if not thousands, of vehicle stops throughout my career as a uniformed police officer, as an undercover police officer, and having reviewed a number of these videos, the tactics and techniques that are being used by ICE and CBP are not what I would describe as accepted practice. They're dangerous, and the danger is not only to the occupant of the vehicle that's being stopped, but it's also dangerous for the law enforcement personnel involved in the stop, and quite frankly, for members of the community who are in the area of the stop.
Well, let's get into this, because first of all, is it my imagination? I don't know if we have data to back this up, but is it becoming more common to see incidents like these vehicle stops by ICE agents? Is it more likely that they are turning deadly?
Yeah, you raise a really interesting point. After the first of the year when we had the shootings in Minneapolis, you really saw what appeared to be a reduction in the highly visible public enforcement activities that ICE and CBP were engaged in communities across the country.
I have proposed, and President Trump has concurred, that this surge operation conclude.
Over the last several weeks, I'm told that at the direction of the White House, ICE has been expanding their neighborhood enforcement efforts, meaning they're targeting both criminal and non-criminal migrants who may be subject to removal operations, and they're targeting them in neighborhoods. And instead of contacting that person while they're walking down the street or while they're in a office or a residence, they're waiting for these people to go mobile, and then they are trying to stop the vehicles that they're in. We've seen several highly public lethal encounters, one in Houston and one in Maine, just, in the course of several days. We've also seen videotapes of traffic stops in Pennsylvania and other places. So it appears, at least anecdotally at least, that we are seeing an increase not only in these stops, but also in stops that are resulting in injuries or deaths. Yeah. But part of the problem here, and I think this is a big part of the story, and let's put, the politics of immigration enforcement aside, right? I mean, that's an important debate. What concerns me the most as someone who spent over 40 years in law enforcement are the tactics and techniques that are being used by these ICE and CBP personnel. You do not conduct a vehicle stop by following somebody around in an unmarked car, in some cases having lights, in other cases not having emergency lights, boxing that car in, having law enforcement personnel who are dressed in, various different ways, some wearing tactical vests, not always easily identifiable, running up to a car, screaming and yelling and swearing and breaking windows, and in some cases standing in front of the car with other agents in your field of fire. That's just not how you do these types of stops. And
but you just said you've done plainclothes stops before. What would be the difference?
Well, typically, if I'm a plainclothes officer and I want to stop a vehicle because a person in that vehicle is suspected of being involved in a crime, I would call a marked unit. And I'd have that marked unit with its, clear markings and its lights and sirens, pull the car over. And if it was a felony car stop type of situation, there are tactics for making felony car stops. I have on occasion been involved in car stops where undercover vehicles will position themselves in such a way that the car was unable to move forward or sideways. And then in a very controlled way, we would have the suspect in that vehicle exit the vehicle.
Although I should make it clear, DHS is not admitting that there's any lack of training here. In fact, they haven't admitted any wrongdoing by these officers at ICE in either of these shootings in Houston or in Maine. But I mean, John, what do you think then could change if and multiple sources, by the way, have told us this is a temporary pause in these types of vehicle stops, that there will be training, that they'll resume after there's more training. What do you think that training might entail?
Well, hopefully the training is going to entail how to properly do a vehicle stop. Hopefully the operational changes will include finding ways to work more closely with state and local law enforcement. So when there is a need to make a vehicle stop, and, I've done investigations where we've waited for the person to drive their car, park, and exit their vehicle, then we arrest them. But trying to stop somebody in a moving vehicle is dangerous for the officer or the agent, for the person in the vehicle, and for others in the community.
Well, and in terms of identifying people, I mean, in both of these cases, in Houston and in Maine, we've had law enforcement say this was actually not the intended target of the operation. John Cohen, really helpful analysis. Thank you so much.
Great to be with you as always.
ABC's Brad Milkey. It's 5:24. It's going to be another gorgeous day, a little warm, 84 for today in the sunshine. Tomorrow, though, will look much different and much cooler. 70 for tomorrow with showers at times, a little bit gusty, and the possibility of a thunder shower. Throw in some sun breaks, too, and you have a little bit of everything. Rebounding for Friday, though. Morning clouds, afternoon sunshine, 76. And then the weekend looks terrific. Lots of sunshine, highs around 80 both days. It's going to get a little toasty around here first part of next week for Monday and Tuesday. We're looking for upper 80s. Right now in Seattle, skies are clear. And coming up, Charlie Harger's commentary, why Washington needs to rethink the way we recycle plastics. That and all your morning's top stories on the way here on Seattle's Morning News.
If you're wearing glasses or contacts, but you need reading glasses or bifocals now, you need to join Drs. Kopstein and King for the K2 Vision RLE live webinar this Thursday at noon to learn about refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE. This free webinar is a perfect opportunity to meet the doctors and have them answer all your questions about K2 Vision RLE. Questions like, how much does RLE cost? Is financing available? Does insurance pay for RLE? These questions and lots more will be covered this Thursday at noon during the K2 Vision RLE free live webinar. K2 Vision surgeons have performed over 150,000 procedures. They know when RLE is right for you. K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers. Plus, no more cataracts. Don't miss the free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Register at K2VisionRLE.com. K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
I was walking my dog. I fell and ended up with 3 tears in my meniscus. I was sent to a surgeon and they said the only way to get this fixed is to have surgery. That just wasn't an option. I didn't want to jump into surgery without trying anything else.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. We offer Jamie an alternative to the downtime and potential risks associated with invasive knee surgery. At Sound Pain Solutions, we help patients like Jamie avoid the side effects of painkillers, cortisone injections, and pain following surgery. Our comprehensive approach includes treatments like pressure wave, PRP, and advanced laser. These treatments reduce pain and restore mobility naturally. Now Jamie is able to do everything she enjoys without pain.
I'm grateful for being able to wake up every day and not be in pain. To be able to go about my day has been amazing.
Schedule a free consultation to learn if you qualify for our non-surgical and drug-free joint treatments at soundpainsolutions.com.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Cars for Kids, KARS, Cars for Kids, 1-877 Cars for Kids, donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids, KARS, Cars for Kids, 1-877 Cars for Kids, donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids, KARS, Cars for Kids, 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
This week's First Mark Challenge victory goes to my friend Brock Heward. Brock, why did you call First Mark?
It is so good to talk to you. It's been too long, and we made that call. And the only bummer is we waited too long. I know you hear from people that you talk to as well as I do to take the First Mark Insurance Challenge. I just wish we would have done it earlier. The word that comes to my mind is a word I use on my sports show a lot, and that is connective tissue. It's important in team building. It's important to players in a locker room to be connected to others. And when it comes to insurance, it's so complicated. It's stressful, and you just don't even want to deal with it. And that's where the connective tissue of having a pro, having a broker, having a partner, and most of all, having a teammate like First Mark Insurance was the best connective tissue we could find.
Brock did it. My family did it. You got to do it. It's free. Take the First Mark Challenge. See how much they can save you and how much better your coverage will get. Maybe you will be our next First Mark Challenge victory. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep, deep discounts. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Protect your family, your phone, and your furry friends with life, electronic device, and pet health insurance.
John Curley here. When the AC starts acting up, don't assume you need a whole new system. Home Comfort Alliance, their approach is simple. Repair first, replace only if needed. Their techs diagnose the real problem because a simple fix can often get the cooling back up again and not cost you a full replacement. Need something new? Ask about a heat pump for year-round comfort. That's what we did at the barn. Get real pricing in 60 seconds at homecomfortalliance.com. Call the comfort people. homecomfortalliance.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
House Majority Leader Mike Johnson is backing a White House request for billions of dollars in more funds to fight the war with Iran.
You've heard the president talk about how he wants to effectively double the funding for national defense. Look, we live in dangerous times. We're fighting communism on our own shores, and we're fighting evil terrorists and tyrants around the world. And we have to be able to protect our national security.
Vice President J.D. Vance will be on Capitol Hill today to push for that additional funding. The American Enterprise Institute, a conservative-leaning think tank, estimated in late June the cost of Operation Epic Fury to be $38.6 billion. Washington Congressman Adam Smith is calling for President Trump to be removed from office.
We have to make the case that Donald Trump has completely lost it.
In a social media video post yesterday, the ranking Democrat on the House Armed Services Committee criticized Trump's recent statements.
Not only is he pushing an authoritarian takeover of our country, but we have to question his sanity if he is launching us on a path to try and take over the Strait of Hormuz and charge tolls.
Smith voted twice to impeach Trump during his first term. A spokesperson didn't say whether Smith plans to introduce impeachment articles. Another diesel fuel spill in Seattle.
This one happened at East Marginal Way and South Spokane Street near the West Seattle Bridge. The Seattle Fire Department says firefighters are on scene working to clean up that leak. SDOT will then take over the rest of the cleanup process.
KIRO 7 TV's Dee Sun. It's 5:33, time for another check on traffic. And for that, we turn things over to Chris Sullivan.
Well, we're still doing really well across the board. One little blip for those of you trying to get from Bonnie Lake through Sumner over to 167. We've been dealing with a little crash there right as you get over to 167 itself. The crash is cleared, but we still have braking to deal with through Sumner. Give yourself an extra 5 minutes there. Once you get over to the Valley Freeway, you'll pick up the pace. It's only 35 minutes from there on up into the Bellevue area, Renton, and then Renton to Bellevue is only 15 minutes. Olympia to Tacoma, no problems there, 30 minutes or less. Tacoma, quiet. Federal Way to Seattle, 35 minutes there. Coming down from the north end, no problems either. We're looking really good from Everett through Linwood and then down through Shoreline on I-5 all the way into Seattle. Same with down through Bothell and into Bellevue. Only 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
You're going to see mostly sunny skies again today, 84, much like yesterday. But then tomorrow things will change. Showers, a little bit gusty at times. We might see a thunder shower, but some sun breaks too. Much cooler, only 70 tomorrow. By Friday, we'll see clouds in the morning, sunshine in the afternoon, and 76, and sunshine for the weekend, both Saturday and Sunday, with highs around 80. Right now in Seattle, skies are clear. It's 60.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
Seattle's morning news on KIRO News Radio.
It's now 5:35. In Charlie's commentary, what's up with how we recycle plastic in our state?
In the 1980s, my grandparents in the Wedgwood neighborhood ran a tight ship. Seattle had just launched a recycling program. Seattle Times and PI in one bin, cans in another, glass sorted by color, clear here, green and brown there. I don't think they missed a week. You know what wasn't in those bins? Plastic. It wasn't recycled. Nobody asked them to rinse out a yogurt cup. That came later. The little triangle showed up in the 90s, stamped on the bottom of everything plastic. I did what you did. I'd rinse out a container, flip it over, see the triangle, feel like a good person, and toss it in the blue recycle bin. Guilt managed, planet saved, back to breakfast. Except the triangle doesn't mean recyclable. The number inside it identifies what kind of plastic resin the container is made from. That's all it ever meant. Whether anybody on Earth will actually buy it back and turn it into something new via recycling is something completely separate. And for most plastic, the answer is no. It's not recyclable. I've applied the same test to recycling that I applied to bag bans and straw bans. Does it work, or does it just make us feel like we did something? Because I'm sorry to tell you, most of this is performative, and the vast majority of plastic you agonize over recycling winds up in the ground at the dump. The national plastic recycling rate has never hit double digits. It's estimated to be around 5 or 6%. We've been at this for 6 decades, so we're rinsing, sorting, and arguing with our spouse over the lid so that about roughly 94 out of every 100 containers take the scenic route to the landfill. Industry documents show the manufacturers knew. NPR and Frontline found they promoted recycling to the public while privately doubting it could ever work at scale. They stamped the triangle on everything anyway. Now, I'm not anti-plastic recycling. About 20 years ago, I helped produce and co-host a weekend home handyman show. I said co-host. My wife will be the first to tell you I'm only to be trusted in a limited fashion with a table saw or a miter saw or a chainsaw, basically any saw. But that show got me a tour of the Trex decking plant outside of Reno. I watched them melt plastic bags into composite lumber. It works. I've seen it with my own eyes. It's also a speck compared to what goes into our shopping carts every week. Recycling aluminum, that works. Cardboard works. Those markets are real. The yogurt cup is a different entire animal. Most plastic costs more to recycle than to make fresh from petroleum. We built an elaborate feel-good system around a material that's worth less used than new. Then we stood at the bin and wondered why it wasn't working. Now, people across the Puget Sound region are conscientious about this. We rinse, we sort, we look in horror when we see someone place a plastic bottle in a garbage can. But nobody will say what percentage of the plastic in your blue bin becomes a new product, how much gets rejected downstream, how much gets ground into plastic lumber or burned instead of becoming another container. Nobody publishes those numbers. My grandparents knew exactly where their newspapers went. 40 years later, knowing where plastic went shouldn't be too much to ask.
You can catch all of Charlie's commentaries at mynorthwest.com. It's 5:39 now. Your political insights from ABC's Dave Packer coming up next here on KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
State Senator Jamie Peterson drafted one of the state's most progressive taxes to date, the income tax on millionaires.
Engaging conversation.
We pay teachers the 4th highest of any state in the country.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
The Seahawks! They're bringing it home again!
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Perfect game by a Seattle Mariner. It was done by the King.
50 seasons, 50 legends, one unforgettable night. Join the Mariners Saturday, August 8th for 50 season celebration night at T-Mobile Park, presented by Daktronics.
The Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship.
Before the team takes on the Rays, arrive early for the most epic pregame ceremony in Mariners history. You'll witness the biggest gathering of franchise icons ever assembled as the 50 greatest Mariners from across all 5 decades are revealed. From Griffey to the big unit, from Ichiro to Nelson Cruz, and every legend in between, you don't want to miss this once-in-a-lifetime event.
Junior with a 2-run home run. Everybody is going bonkers here in the Kingdom.
Seats are going fast. Get yours at mariners.com/tickets.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
Digging in my yard, trying to lay a pipe. I hit a water line and now I have to pay a big fine. I should have called 811.
More people on the roads means more accidents. And if you're not careful, you'll find yourself on the shoulder exchanging information. If you are one of the unlucky ones, reverse your fortune by calling Harold Car Law Offices. While you're resting, Harold Car Law Offices will deal with insurance and get you the best recovery possible. 7 locations across Western Washington and a track record of success for their clients. Car spelled with 2 R's. C-A-R-R. Carlaw.com. C-A-R-R. Car accident? Call CAR.
These are your political insights from ABC News. Democrats are ready to go on the attack as Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche appears on the Hill today for a confirmation hearing to get the job permanently. Expect lots of questions about the botched $1.8 billion settlement the president made with the government he's in charge of to pay people who claim they were victims targeted by the Biden administration. The arrangement also giving Trump and his family amnesty from IRS investigations and audits of their past dealings. And Democrats are also likely to bring up Blanche's controversial rollout of the Epstein files, as well as his past as President Trump's former personal attorney. Defense authorization bills usually pass with bipartisan support, but not Tuesday. Democrats in the Senate sinking a motion to move forward with the $1.15 trillion package. The vote was settled along party lines, though Senate Majority Leader John Thune changed his vote to allow him to bring the motion back to the floor at another time. The vote coming one day after the White House formally notified Congress about renewing military action in Iran. Dave Packer, ABC News.
It's 5:43, another gorgeous day. Sunshine, 84 for today, much like yesterday. Tomorrow, though, much cooler, about 70. We'll see some showers at times, maybe some sun breaks, but also the threat of some thunder showers tomorrow. Friday, though, clouds in the morning, sunshine again by afternoon and 76. The weekend looks terrific both days. Lots of sunshine and highs around 80. Right now in Seattle, skies are clear. It is 60 degrees. Coming up, a friendly reminder that the Kingston Ferry Terminal has a unique feature that you need to be aware of. Chris Sullivan has a choke point for you next on Seattle's Morning News.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Boytine from the G and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the G and Ursula YouTube channel.
Are you in pain? Have you considered surgery or even joint replacement? Hi, everybody. It's John Curley. Before you make that decision, I recommend you see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. I did, and it's been a game changer. My doctor took a look at my x-rays and said, well, looks like you need a whole new hip. And then he said, wait, how old are you? And I told him, and then he said, well, wait, you're too young for a hip. You're just going to have to, live with the pain. We'll see in 3 years. It was horrible. Dr. Wagner is a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience performing more than 20,000 stem cell procedures, using a person's own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in their own joints. People with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, are back doing what they enjoy doing without pain and without surgery. So whether it's a hip like I had, or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagner.com MarkWagnerMD.com.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com.
I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Let's go!
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
Yay, the Ramones are back too.
Everything is right with the world.
Wow, you guys weren't doing choke points on your own while I was gone?
I mean, I was thinking about it, but
no one can do them like you.
People would get so upset. They'd be like, this is new Coke. This is fraudulent.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys so much.
Well, we don't want you to get a surprise if you're heading up to the Squim Lavender Festival this weekend. Changes to how you access the ferry dock at Kingston that could ruin your return trip.
What do we need to know?
Well, this is very important to our listeners, especially one named Raymond. And I'll get to him in a minute. Kind of a cautionary tale that I want to share with the rest of you, because we talked about the changes to the ferry line at the start of the summer getting into Kingston, but it's time for a refresher. I'm bringing this up now because the Lavender Festival is this weekend. It's a really big deal up in Squim, and it's going to take a bunch of people through that Kingston ferry dock probably for the first time since those changes took place in June. And I'm also bringing this up because listener Raymond reached out to me over the weekend to tell me what happened to him and his family. He was heading home to Snohomish after a weekend in Squim. He did not know that there is now a ticket kiosk about a mile west of the toll booth in Kingston. You are required to get a ticket at that kiosk before getting into the ferry line down to the toll booth and terminal. He got down to the toll booth after waiting in line, and he was turned away. The toll booth operator told him to turn around and get a ticket. By the time he got back up there, the line approaching that new kiosk was super long, so he decided to drive instead of wait all the way to Bremerton, to Tacoma, and back to Snohomish. Talk about a massive detour and a huge amount of time. Now, to add a little context to this, Raymond reached out to me overnight when I was getting a little more details. He drove into the ferry line using a road from the west, kind of going through the little town of Kingston, a road he wasn't familiar with. That didn't go past the flashing lights and past that kiosk. It's just assumed that people using that road, normally locals, already know that they have to drive up to the kiosk and get a ticket. The Washington Department of Transportation's Kurt Workman told me earlier this year, the goal is to have cars wait in line out of the downtown core of Kingston. That keeps the town from getting blocked in, keeps idling exhaust away, and it also eliminates line cutting. Workman told me yesterday that the state doesn't keep track of how many people it has turned away, but Raymond was not the first, and he will not be the last.
If folks arrive at the booth without a ticket, then they're going to be turned back and have to go back to the end of the line and wait in line until they get a ticket and come up to the booth. So that's going to be the enforcement mechanism on that.
There is a flashing sign on SR 104 at the Barber Cutoff Road, about a mile from the kiosk, letting drivers know that they need to enter the ferry line there and get a ticket. Even if they don't see any cars in the ferry line, they need to get in there and get that ticket. That's where you need to enter. And then you follow the green lights that are triggered by space near the toll booth to proceed. That's how WashDOT manages the flow. Workman hopes that everybody understands what they're trying to do, even those Kingston residents who now have to drive out of town just to get in line.
We understand that is, an inconvenience, but hopefully the trade-offs of, better access through town, not so many people idling in their town, better access to the businesses. Hopefully all of those things are a trade-off that is a positive for everyone.
The kiosk system operates from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day from late May until mid-October. It runs every Saturday and Sunday for the entire year and the full weeks of Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. Now, motorcyclists, you don't need a ticket. Bicyclists, you don't need to get a ticket. Neither do people with mobility issues that would make, getting a ticket possibly difficult for them to do, or people with those medical passes who say they get a doctor, whatever. You don't need to worry about a ticket there either. So to answer the question that a lot of me asked me when I first ran this story in May, yes, the toll booth operators will turn you away. Just ask Raymond.
What a bummer for Raymond.
Yeah. Talk about a long drive home.
I think about Raymond, and this makes me think about something about myself, because Raymond's clearly not trying to do anything wrong. He's a good guy. And when I see somebody doing something like that, my first assumption is to jump to, oh, that guy is just a rude jerk. And I need to be better at assuming positive intent sometimes. Like, people can be complete jerks, but sometimes maybe they're not intending to be, and it's just perception.
That's one thing I've always talked about in driving in general, because people here drive, well, in general, everyone drives super angry. Mm-hmm. Everybody drives like their trip is more important than everybody else's. And
I'm the only good driver.
Right. And the thing is that, Charlie, don't necessarily ascribe positive intent. Don't ascribe intent at all. But definitely don't assume that somebody is doing something on purpose. What I tell people is drive like the people that you are doing these things to are your mom is driving that car, or your grandma is driving that car, or your son or daughter is driving that car. Yeah. Would you treat them the way you're treating that person that you think is a rando? You know, they may be visiting somebody at the hospital. They may have just lost a job. You know, now granted, there are a bunch of people who are a bunch of jerks who do this intentionally. Don't get me wrong, but we all get around a little bit better if we. And again, in this case, he told me, he's like, yeah, I'd used a road that I'd never used before, and he kind of got into the west of it, and he was like, wow, there's nobody in line. He went in line, so I get it. But yeah, don't assume the other guy's doing something. They're probably going through something, and treat other people like a loved one is in that car. If you wouldn't do it to them, you shouldn't do it to that random person.
Well, clearly the moral of the story here is listen to Sully.
That is also, or go to mynorthwest.com where you can find all this information and plus all the hours and the times of day and the weeks that this is operating. Plus you see what the sign looks like, see what the kiosk looks like. And David, have you driven through there? Have you?
I have, yeah. I take those ferries all the time. My parents live on that side of the water. I am wondering, I mean, you talk about what WashDOT's kind of goal is here, kind of keeping that traffic out of the town, that main stretch of the town. I wonder in a place like Bremerton or like Bainbridge or even Edmonds on the other side of Kingston there, is this something that they're going to start doing more in those terminals?
It's possible. I mean, we're going to have to see. For this one, Kingston is somewhat unique in that it just kind of dead ends right there, and that road that's really the one main drag that goes places or other than for local use only. And so it's kind of unique. Again, maybe they should do it in West Seattle. Of course, that dock, they're in the process of redoing that entire thing to do so. So we'll see. I mean, it also depends on if it works and what compliance looks like. But it's a big change. And if you're heading up there this weekend, I don't want you to get caught like Raymond. Raymond suffered the pain, so you all can get through this in better shape this weekend.
That's Chris Sullivan. You can always find his choke points at mynorthwest.com. The American College of Sports Medicine has released its 2026 American Fitness Index. It ranks the 100 largest U.S. cities based on how well they support healthy, active lifestyles. News Nation's Connell McShane reports on the top 5 fittest cities.
The fittest city in America is Arlington, Virginia. Here's the top 5, whether you should be surprised. You actually, I guess, shouldn't be. It's the 9th year in a row now for Arlington, Virginia. D.C., so this area in and around our nation's capital, get some fit folks there. Washington, D.C.'s number 2, Minneapolis, Seattle. No surprise. Denver, they like to be outdoors. You got to run in the altitude, so Denver's number 5 on the list.
There you go. Seattle at number 4. Oklahoma City, Memphis, Port St. Lucie, Indianapolis, and Loving are the least fit cities. 5:54, a check on the weather. It's going to be mostly sunny and 84 today. Tomorrow we might see some showers. We might see some thunder showers and much cooler. High of 70, but back to the sunshine by Friday afternoon. So far the weekend looks great. We'll be around to 80 both days in the sunshine and then really heating up on Monday and Tuesday into the upper 80s. Right now in Seattle, skies are clear as the sun comes up. It is 60. Coming up, Patty Murray and Donald Trump agree on something. What is it and what it means for your clock? Jillian Raftery will have that report. Also at 6:15, we're going to chat with former State Attorney General Rob McKenna. He'll join the show to break down the massive lawsuit in Washington against a big grocery chain. Love to hear from you on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line 888-973-5476. This is Seattle's Morning News.
Subscribe to the Jake and Spike YouTube channel and watch live or later.
Did you hear that restaurant in the CID? Conditions are so bad, it is not feasible for them to stay open during the weekdays and only during the weekends.
Crime, street life, drug use. If only there were an elected official.
Like a mayor?
Maybe a council of these elected officials. And maybe these concerns could be brought to them.
This should scare them. I mean, I know we're being tongue-in-cheek.
It should.
Jake and Spike, weekdays noon to 3 on KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
They call this one Bill.
Whoa, aliens? Am I in a spaceship?
Affirmative, Bill.
What's with the laser saw?
Relax. We are cutting our bill in half.
What?
An Xfinity mobile transmission says you can cut your bill in half.
Oh, your mobile bill, not me, Bill.
Xfinity Mobile also says we can try it free for a year. Free.
Yes, with no commitment. Can we put the saw away?
I am reluctant. But we will find another being to bisect.
That's not sci-fi. It's Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity Internet members cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. No commitment. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings compares one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes, fees, extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
We all know a cancer diagnosis is physically and emotionally draining, but it can be financially draining too. That's why Northwest Hope and Healing is here to help. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to be part of Northwest Hope and Healing's mission. We provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare so patients can focus on healing. Since the year 2000, we have distributed over $3 million in direct financial assistance to thousands of local cancer patients. And you can make a direct impact. Mark your calendar for Life in Color, a summer brunch, auction, and fashion show on August 23rd at the Somme Hotel and Spa in Woodinville. It's an unforgettable afternoon of hope and inspiration, celebrating local cancer survivors. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 23rd. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates this weekend only. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep discounts. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, a well-insulated attic can be your home's secret weapon. Upgrading attic insulation is a cost-effective way to make your home more energy efficient. It also helps keep your home warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Better insulation equals better air quality, less moisture, and no mold, improving the air quality you and your family breathe. Call now for $300 off attic ceiling and ventilation, and visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Experience the thrill of seeing orcas and humpback whales with Puget Sound Express. Join their family-run tours for guaranteed whale sightings departing daily from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Book now at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. Daytime airstrikes on Iran, the first since the first 40 days of the war, carried out this morning by U.S. forces. CENTCOM says they hit cruise missile storage and launch sites and coastal defense systems. Searches in San Francisco Bay for 3 people still missing after a boat went down overnight near Alcatraz. ABC's Trevor Alt.
Coast Guard racing to the scene, but by the time they arrived, the bottom 2 levels of that 3-level cruiser were underwater. It's unclear if anyone was wearing a life vest. 1 passenger rushed to shore was later pronounced dead. 13 passengers were safely rescued. 3 people were taken to the hospital with injuries.
President Trump saying this morning that ICE cannot suspend using traffic stops. Even after a pair of deadly incidents, officials had put them on pause for more training. Todd Blanche faces questions at his Senate Judiciary Committee confirmation hearing to move up from acting attorney general to getting the job permanently. This is ABC News. Police explain why they arrested a man for something they say happened on July 4th in St. Johns County, Florida on I-95.
Deputies pulling over the suspected vehicle.
Triple Driver is this vehicle was seen launching fireworks out of the passenger side of the vehicle.
But deputies informing the people inside that vehicle that they were caught on camera from above.
That's a helicopter who's been following you for the past 10 miles. Shoot stuff out the car.
The passenger of the vehicle then placed under arrest.
ABC's Gio Benitez. Evidence shows a new malaria vaccine in Africa is helping reduce cases, but officials are concerned that not everybody's getting the 4th and final booster. Today is the second semifinal in the World Cup. Defending champs Argentina facing England this after Spain beat France. Games in Atlanta, 3 p.m. Eastern. It's Wednesday, July 15th. Tonight, if it's clear where you are, you'll be able to see in the southern sky the Milky Way's glowing core. Chuck Severson, ABC News.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, kind of ominous.
Okay, at 6:02, here's what's happening.
Western Washington Congressman Adam Smith is calling for President Trump to be removed from office. In a video posted yesterday, the Bellevue Democrat described the president's conduct in Iran as an authoritarian takeover.
The man convicted of the deadly 1995 King County courthouse shootings has died. The Department of Corrections says Timothy Blackwell died this week at 78. He had been serving a life sentence for killing 3 women.
Warren Buffett says he will not donate to the Gates Foundation this year. That decision comes amid renewed scrutiny of Bill Gates' past meetings with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
Time to check traffic every 10 minutes. Chris Sullivan is watching the roads this Wednesday morning.
And we're off to a good start, Charlie. We're starting to see just a little bit of volume here and there. The one issue that we've been dealing with is a crash on westbound 410 right as you get to the 167 corridor there in Sumner. So we're kind of slow from Valley Ave up through Traffic Ave. So pad a couple extra minutes into your schedule just to get through that. Once you get over to the Valley Freeway, you'll be in good shape, under 40 minutes to make the drive to Renton. The Renton S-curve starting to heat up just a little, but we're under 17 minutes to make it up to Bellevue. It's still a pretty good travel time. A few brake lights through Nisqually, heading up the hill towards Mounts Road. Might have a little sun glare to deal with. Then you have Tacoma is not bad, and then Federal Way to Seattle's only 35 minutes. Already starting to see some braking on southbound I-5 near the forced merge there in Northgate. Only 35 minutes, though, from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue to start the day, which isn't bad. This report brought to you by 425 Magazine. Home design, local living, dining trends, health and wellness, and more. Subscribe today at 425magazine.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us today. There's renewed energy in the push to make daylight saving time permanent.
The House of Representatives has approved a measure to do just that. And KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery is here live following the saga.
Good morning. It's called the Sunshine Protection Act, and similar measures have been debated for years, but this is the closest we've been to reality because of a new push and President Donald Trump's personal lobbying. It now goes to the Senate, where it has the support of Washington Senator Patty Murray.
Any parent who has worked so hard to get a newborn or a toddler on a regular sleeping schedule understands the absolute chaos changing our clocks creates, and for no good reason.
As a parent, I can say that is absolutely true. It's very surprising, but don't believe me. Here's Professor Nate Watson, co-director of the UW Sleep Medicine Center.
And we know that people sleep on average 40 minutes less after daylight savings. And that effect persists for a couple of weeks.
I know, daylight savings. We all cringed at that. It's daylight saving. But this faces an uphill battle in the Senate. It is surprisingly controversial. If we stay on daylight saving, parts of the country could stay in the dark until 9 a.m. in the winter. There are a lot of special interests involved in this, too, including convenience store chains and the sporting goods industry, dating all the way back to the 60s when the U.S. standardized the time change nationwide. Here's Professor Watson again.
And actually, in 1987, there were 2 Idaho legislators who voted for it, claiming that more French fries are sold when we're on daylight savings time than when we're not.
In 2019, our state passed a measure adopting permanent daylight saving time if the federal government does. So that would be a big change for us pretty immediately. Stay tuned.
All right. Thank you, Jillian. Jillian Raftery reporting live.
A 3-alarm fire heavily damaged a commercial building in Seattle's industrial district. The flames started around 1 o'clock this morning in the 4500 block of 7th Avenue South. KIRO 7 TV's Tyra Majors is on the scene.
When crews arrived, they found a tractor trailer burning next to the building and moved into a defensive attack, fighting those flames from a safe distance. The response was then upgraded, bringing in more crews as smoke continued to fill the air. People who live nearby are being asked to keep their windows and doors closed because of the smoke. We'll keep you updated as this investigation on how this fire started unfolds. Thankfully, no reported injuries here.
King County Prosecutor Lisa Mannion is pushing state lawmakers to pass a bill cracking down on copper wire theft, which she says has a tremendous impact on the community.
Not just in terms of course, public safety, but also the impact to our infrastructure, the amount of damage that is caused that is borne by taxpayers, and we can prevent this crime.
She tells the G and Ursula show the bill would require recyclers to photograph any copper wire brought in for sale and give law enforcement the authority to seize suspected stolen wire and trace it back to thieves. She says it's much like the catalytic converter law that took effect last year. The bill was introduced this past session, did not pass. Mannion expects it to be reintroduced next legislative session.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Well, here we are, middle of July already, July 15th, 2026. I'm Charlie Harger with Manda Factor.
Look, Sully decided to come 2 days in a row.
Wow, Sully, congratulations.
Well, thank you. I need an explanation. Does the daylight saving thing, does that mean it's darker in the morning all year long? Or which way does that go?
We would be on this time.
This time right now.
Year round.
Yeah.
So that means it would be lighter later, but then darker in the morning?
Right.
Yeah, so is that better or worse for kids standing in the dark in the snow trying to catch their school buses in the morning?
Because it snows so frequently.
Or in the rain and the gray that
Yeah.
we have? I'm just curious. I don't know.
Yeah, I think there are trade-offs with both, so this is something they'll be debating.
Interesting.
Yep. That is Sully over there. David Burbank was nodding enthusiastically when he was talking, when Jillian was talking about sleep schedules.
Yes.
When it comes to daylight saving
Yes,
time.
daylight certainly factors into baby sleep schedules.
Yeah, and of course, anchor sleep schedules, Manda, when we hit the hay
It was
way
a
earlier.
little too toasty and light last night,
Yeah.
so I'm grouchy this morning.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. I'm never grouchy.
Well, this hour of Seattle's Morning News is sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control.
Big lawsuit from our state against grocery chain Albertsons over the sale of opioid drugs. We're going to chat with former state attorney general Rob McKenna about that coming up.
We're hearing from Supreme Court justices. They testify at Congress. They are receiving death threats, doxing, and more. ABC's Rich Frankel will join us to explain.
It's now 6:09. Well, for a long time, we thought there was just one group trying to bring the Sonics back. Well, the NBA commissioner just dropped a major hint last night that there is secret competition.
Most of the groups that are interested have not been public, and that's any group that's chosen to be public is their decision.
Adam Silver says multiple private bidders are actually fighting to bring a team to Seattle. He says the league is looking at the overall price tag and exactly who makes up these mystery groups. Silver expects the NBA to wrap up the entire expansion process by the end of this year.
King County Sheriff Patty Cole-Tyndall says her deputies have not been asked to help federal immigration agents, and if that changes, there are strict limits on what they could do. Here's KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
Sheriff Cole-Tyndall says deputies will only assist ICE when there is a judge-signed court order in a criminal case, but not over questions of someone's citizenship status. Cole-Tyndall says if deputies do encounter ICE agents in the field, they are ordered to follow established protocol.
They are supposed to notify chain of command, obviously their supervisor immediately, but they know that they are not to assist.
Sheriff Cole Tyndall says the county has also joined lawsuits challenging federal efforts to tie immigration cooperation to federal grant funding. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
More now on Washington Congressman Adam Smith calling for President Trump to be removed from office.
We have to make the case that Donald Trump has completely lost it.
In a social media video posted yesterday, the ranking Democrat on the House Armed Services Committee criticized Trump's recent statements.
Not only is he pushing an authoritarian takeover of our country, but we have to question his sanity if he is launching us on a path to try and take over the Strait of Hormuz and charge tolls.
The president has since reversed course about the tolls. Smith voted twice to impeach Trump during his first term. The spokesperson didn't say whether Smith plans to introduce impeachment articles this time.
Today, you'll get a chance to weigh in whether data centers should be allowed within Seattle city limits in the future. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin.
Now, according to the data center map, there are 59 of those facilities currently in Seattle right now. In last month's meeting, city council members approved a one-year ban on any new large centers in Seattle. Large is defined as a center that demands more than 20 megavolt amps of electricity, which could power about 16,000 homes. Hundreds of people have been outspoken about the need to make sure that the centers are not actually going to drain the city's resources.
A moratorium on data centers is now on the books in Skagit County. County Commissioner Peter Browning tells KIRO 7 TV most of the testimony at a public hearing yesterday was in favor of the ban.
That was pretty much the tone of everyone. They're not against data centers. They just don't want our water being used when it should be used in farmland, or their power being used when it should be used by the citizens of Skagit County.
Backers say this is a proactive move as no data center applications have been submitted there in Skagit County.
Wrongful death lawsuit over the 2021 Pacific Northwest heat dome will move toward trial in King County. A judge rejected efforts by major oil companies to dismiss the case. The lawsuit was filed by the daughter of 65-year-old Julie Leon of Ferndale, who died of hyperthermia after her car broke down in Seattle during the record heat. The suit claims companies including ExxonMobil, Chevron, BP, and Shell knew fossil fuels were driving climate change, but misled the public. The companies deny the claims.
It's now 6:12 and time for a check on the weather. It's going to be warm, but not heat dome warm. Let's bring in KIRO 7 TV's Nick Aller. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning. Yeah, we have a little more cloud cover today. So what I think you'll see is, number one, you have some low marine clouds if you're, say, south and west of Shelton and Olympia. So not a huge issue there. Number two, we're seeing a lot of moisture east of the Cascades producing some high clouds. And at times you'll see some of that pushing through. So just a little more cloud cover overall today compared to yesterday. And for that reason, I did make it about 84, 85 instead of 85, 86. And we hit 85 yesterday. So it really is just kind of a repeat. There'll be a little upper level haze, but that's all. And I think any chance for showers and thunderstorms today, which will increase, stays in the mountains and east for later today and tonight. Then overnight, we'll see some clouds moving through, and it might be a warm and kind of muggy night with much cooler temperatures tomorrow. And around this time tomorrow, we'll start to see some rain moving in, and there'll be pockets of it that could be heavy, along with the chance for some thunderstorms here and there, kind of scattered throughout the day. But even in the morning, you could see that. And, rain totals could end up being 1/10 of an inch in Seattle to like 1 inch in Forks. So it just depends on where some of the pockets of heavier rain move in. And our temperatures will fall down to like 67 to 70, depending on where you are. So a much cooler day. But it only lasts for tomorrow, because on Friday, I think you just have some clouds early and then slowly increasing sun in the mid-70s. Then you're in the 80s this weekend and upper 80s and lower 90s to start next week. There is some increased fire danger, of course, with the fire weather watch for the Olympics, the Cascades, and east of the Cascades. But either way, it's just going to be a much more active day tomorrow and then a nice weekend.
So at this point, Monday and Tuesday, hot. Do we know how long that pattern's going to last?
Probably till November. No, I don't think forever, but it's just going to be a hot week for sure.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Nick. Right now in Seattle, it's clear, pleasant, 60 degrees.
Let's get a check on traffic every 10 minutes. Here's Chris Sullivan.
And we continue to work with this sluggish crash. It's on the ramp from westbound 410 to northbound 167 there, and that's what's causing the braking on 410 itself, from Valley Ave through Traffic Ave there as you work your way through Sumner. So plan on about a 5-minute delay as you work your way past this. It's up on the toe, and they're trying to get this thing out of there, but that's the one issue on our board this morning. Once you make it over to the Valley Freeway, you got about a 40-minute trip to get you up into Renton. Renton to Bellevue is already up over 20. S-curves are active, but by the time you're up to SR 900 or Sunset, you're in very good shape. Olympia to Tacoma, some sun glare up the hill out in Nisqually. Already 40 minutes to get you to Tacoma, and then Federal Way to Seattle, a matching 40. 40, already up to 45 from Everett to Seattle as we're seeing a lot more braking through the forced merge in Northgate. 405 is much better, about 35 minutes there. Lake bridges are quiet. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. The AC not working well? Don't assume the worst. Home Comfort Alliance repairs first and only replaces if necessary. Get a real pricing quote in 60 seconds. HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Seattle's tradition for news and conversation. This is Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor.
Well, there's a big trial getting underway in Washington state as the state's case against grocery chain Albertsons and its pharmacies for its connection to fueling the opioid epidemic in Washington.
This is a lawsuit that could end up resulting in more than $1 billion going towards Washington's drug recovery efforts.
Let's break it all down with former state AG Rob McKenna. Good morning, Rob. Talk to us about this case. What is at stake here?
Well, at stake is, potentially tens of millions of dollars for the state of Washington that it might recover from Albertsons over its claim that Albertsons stores, which would include Safeways now, dispensed hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of pills, powerful opioids, even where there were red flags suggesting that they shouldn't. For example, a red flag for a particular doctor who was signing prescriptions for hundreds of thousands of pills. So this is a lawsuit very similar to lawsuits brought all across the country against the big pharmacy retailers. Kroger's already settled, for example, and also on top of lawsuits against manufacturers like Purdue Pharma and distributors of those pills as well, the middlemen between the manufacturers and the pharmacies. That have collectively resulted in billions of dollars being paid to the state for, failures to control opioid abuse.
How here in Washington did this case come to trial?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Just what's the background? How did this end up in trial?
I don't want to sound glib, but it went to trial because Albertsons refused to settle. So other companies have settled. Albertsons believed strongly that it had good systems in place to prevent abuse, and they characterize the examples used by the state as isolated examples. So, sometimes companies will choose to litigate and take the risk of litigation instead of settling. And here, evidently, Albertsons believes strongly enough that, in their procedures and their policies that they decided to litigate. I think that tells us the state was demanding more money than they were willing to pay in a settlement, and that they prefer to take their chances in court.
Rob, aren't pharmacies just supposed to dispense whatever a doctor prescribes?
This is a key defense that Albertsons and the other pharmacies have mounted across the country over many years. They said, look, it's the doctors who are key. We can't fill a prescription or fill an order for pills without a prescription from a doctor who's authorized to write prescriptions. And at the same time, they point out that they can be liable if they fail to fill prescriptions from doctors. There have been instances where pharmacists have been threatened with the loss of their licenses for refusing to fill prescriptions that were signed by physicians. So they feel like they're caught between a rock and a hard place in that regard. On the other hand, we do know that there have been some doctors, relative handful, but a significant number who operated pill mills or otherwise just, signed prescriptions like crazy for opioids and allowed them to get into the hands of people who abused them or who sold them. And there's one example the state of Washington uses of an individual who, picked up prescriptions that some doctor signed for hundreds of thousands of pills.
Does Washington deal with these opioid-related drug prescriptions differently than other states?
I think it's pretty similar, actually. There are rules, developed across the country to govern pharmacy that are, copied from state to state. Rules that govern prescription systems like this red flagging system, where when you see a large number of prescriptions from a single physician over a relatively short period of time, that's supposed to raise questions. But, these pharmacies and these retailers operate on relatively thin margins, and they have limited teams to chase down every red flag, and sometimes they get overwhelmed. And it's possible that in the case of Albertsons, the team they formed to address diversion and look into red flags just didn't have the resources to keep up with the demand.
Okay, well, let's hit the rewind button. 30 years or so ago, the federal government was reluctant to go after tobacco companies. A coalition of state AGs, including your predecessor, Chris Gregoire, goes after tobacco industry, gets a massive settlement. Your office, I'm sure, was largely in charge of implementing many of those settlement funds. Can you just give us a comparison going after opioid pharmacies and the tobacco lawsuit of 3 decades ago?
Well, the tobacco lawsuit was about evidence that the tobacco companies, the cigarette makers, were hiding evidence about the addictiveness of nicotine. Some people claim that they actually, were designing cigarettes to be more addictive. That's a concern, by the way, that's been raised about some vaping products. And that's right now, the big concern that the states have is with vaping because, the market is dominated by illegal vaping products that come in from China and elsewhere. But back in the day, with the tobacco companies, they had fended off lawsuits by individuals who said that they were misled. They didn't have accurate information about the addictiveness of smoking, and then they contracted lung cancer or another disease. And it wasn't until the states came into the picture and were able to use their investigative power that they were able to collect the evidence that, in fact, tobacco companies had been misleading the public and misled Congress and so forth. And that led to the settlement that then Attorney General Gregoire co-authored. She put in years of work on it, and it is an historic settlement. I spent years enforcing it, just as you suggested, when I came into office. But the liability theories there were, somewhat different than what we're seeing with pharmacies, with drug makers, et cetera, where, the latter arguments are really about, in the case of the manufacturers and Purdue Pharma, that they were actively promoting the increasing use of opioids, against evidence that they were highly addictive and should have been more carefully controlled.
Just about out of time, but what's your prediction in this case?
Well, normally in litigation, even after a trial starts, you'll see a settlement before the end of trial, and it's very common anyway. And I wouldn't be surprised if ultimately Albertsons does choose to settle. But then again, they might feel strongly enough about their case that they're going to go all the way to the end and see what the result is in court.
Former State AG Rob McKenna. Rob, thank you for your time this week, and we'll check in with you soon.
Terrific. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, take care. It's 6:23. Right now, it's time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes on the threes. Chris Sullivan, take it away.
We're already pushing up to about a 10-minute delay on northbound I-5 from Olympia to Tacoma because of the sun glare we have coming down the Nisqually Hill and then back up toward Mounts Road. So 45 minutes on the trip to Tacoma already, and it's all just sun glare. Once you get through that, Tacoma itself is pretty quiet, a little bit up the hill to 18 and under 45 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle. Little braking on eastbound 512 down the South Hill, nothing you can't handle. Still dealing with this stubborn crash on the ramp from westbound 410 to northbound 167, causing the slowing in Sumner. That's why we're heavy from Valley Ave through Traffic Ave before it frees up there. And then you hit relatively normal 45-minute trip up the valley, heavy in Auburn and at the north end, and 25 minutes from Renton to Bellevue as the brake lights there are getting heavy up past Sunset. Coming down from the north end, we have slowing getting through Linwood and approaching Northgate. 45 minutes to go from Everett to Seattle, 40 from Everett to Bellevue. Not too bad in Marysville. The Lake Bridges are in great shape. This report brought to you by the Seattle Mariners. Don't miss fireworks nights all summer. Presented by T-Mobile. Up next, the 2000s Decade Show, July 17th. Get your tickets, mariners.com/fireworks.
We're looking for a high in the mid-80s today in Seattle, but we cool down tomorrow right around 70. Rain and thunderstorms possible. We start to bounce back by the weekend. We're talking upper 70s to low 80s and nice and sunny then. Right now in Seattle, it's 57.
And coming up, Adam Silver says more than one group wants to bring the Sonics back. And Jillian Raftery has what the NBA commission is revealing about a timeline for a decision. We'll also get to the opening bell report here on Seattle's Morning News.
Word here for Closets by Design. If you're having one of those mornings where you're already behind, you can't find what you need, your closets and match, your pantry is overflowing, you can't use your garage, you're not doing anything wrong. Most homes just weren't set up to work the way we actually live. Closets by Design isn't just closets. It's garage where you can park your car, a pantry where you can actually use it, laundry rooms, home offices, wall beds, entertainment centers, mudrooms. They do everything. And here's the key. It's all custom built, designed for your home, your routines. Nothing off a shelf, nothing pre-made. When things are designed right, your day just goes smoother with less clutter and frustration because everything finally has a place. Right now, for a limited time, you can get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or give them a call, 1-800-BY-DESIGN, and get your project started today.
Subscribe to the Jake and Spike YouTube channel and watch live or later.
Did you hear that restaurant in the CID? Conditions are so bad, it is not feasible for them to stay open during the weekdays and only during the weekends.
Crime, street life, drug use. If only there were an elected official.
Like a mayor?
Maybe a council of these elected officials. And maybe these concerns could be brought to them.
This should scare them. I mean, like, I know we're being, like, tongue-in-cheek.
It should.
Jake and Spike, weekdays noon to 3 on KIRO Newsradio. Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Premium Wireless. How did you get 30, 30, bid you get 30, bid you get 20, 20, 20, bid you get 20, 20, bid you get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need to get the job done. With fast delivery you can depend on and access to technical product experts ready to help you meet any challenge. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Life doesn't have to slow you down just because costs are up. At Subaru of Puyallup, fuel-efficient models help you go farther with the confidence of all-wheel drive. And you have to experience the newly redesigned Subaru Outback with bold styling, advanced safety, an upgraded touchscreen, and even more capability. For stress-free pricing, a huge selection, and current offers, stop by Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership. Part of the Harnish Auto family. Visit SubaruofPuyallup.com.
Summer calls for road travel across our region. Have you noticed more vehicles on our highways and local roads? Obviously, traffic in the city is going to be crowded, especially with the Ship Canal Bridge construction. But there have been a ton more people heading north on I-5 and east on I-90 for weekends and holidays than again on Sundays coming home. More people on the roads means more accidents. And if you're not careful, you'll find yourself on the shoulder exchanging information. If you're one of the unlucky ones or know a friend or family member, reverse your fortune by having Harold Carr Law Offices deal with insurance. While you're resting, receiving physical therapy, and taking time off work, Harold Carr Law Offices will negotiate with insurance on your behalf while compiling necessary paperwork and getting you the best recovery possible. 7 locations across Western Washington and a track record of success for their clients. Carr is spelled with 2 R's. C-A-R-R. CarLaw.com. C-A-R-R. Car accident? Call Carr.
At Seattle Children's Hospital, 1 in 3 patient families can't afford the food their kids need to heal. A child recovering from surgery and the family struggling to put nutritious food on the table. That's why Seattle Children's, Safeway, and Seahawk, Jackson Smith and Jigba launched the Food First Project to fight pediatric food insecurity by providing grocery cards, produce vouchers, and food as medicine programs for families. No barriers, just help. 12s, we need you. Learn more at Safeway.com. Again, that's Safeway.com.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from big wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning, it's 6:30. The NBA is dropping hints about the behind-the-scenes process to bring men's basketball back to Seattle.
Press conference last night, the commissioner hinted at a secret bidding war taking place. So let's get the breakdown from KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery.
That's right. Things have been pretty quiet since earlier this year when the NBA announced they'd consider expansion and that Seattle and Las Vegas were the only two cities to be considered. So far, only one group has come out publicly to be involved in those expansion talks. Here's Commissioner Adam Silver.
In terms of public, most of the groups that are interested have not been public, and that's any group that's chosen to be public is their decision.
He's being very cagey, but what he means is that there's quite a few groups interested, most likely, and this is good news because there has been so little for sports fans to latch onto since that announcement. Silver says there is a lot going on in the background with complex issues for potential ownership groups to deal with.
Price is one component, but I think there was as much interest as in who the groups would be, what the overall composition of ownership, and of course where they would play. And I'm still hopeful again that this process would be wrapped up by year end.
The one group to come out publicly in these expansion talks is One Roof Sports and Entertainment. That's the organization behind the Seattle Kraken hockey team.
Jillian Raftery reporting live. It's 6:32.
Today, King County Metro will reveal what it's doing to keep bus drivers and passengers safe. KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun reports these changes come after bus driver Sean Yim was stabbed and killed in 2024.
Metro tells us last year it had 4 assaults on bus drivers, 4 on employees, and 16 assaults on passengers. This year through June, they have now 7 assaults on drivers, 0 on employees, and 8 assaults on passengers. And the year, of course, not over. Metro added $89 million to its 2026 to 2027 budget for several safety and security measures. That includes funding for 10 more Metro Transit police for a total of 89.
The Regional Safety Task Force will have an update at 3 this afternoon.
A full weekend closure coming to Seattle's busy Montlake Boulevard. WashDOT will shut down both directions between East Hamlin Street and East Louisa Street starting Friday night. Nearby resident Kathy Frank tells KIRO 7 TV she's glad big oversized signs at East Roanoke are going away.
It means that we have to plan more carefully. I'm hoping that the change makes it look less like a freeway and more like a neighborhood.
Signs were installed about 3 years ago, drew complaints from neighbors. Montlake will close again in August to remove the old sign bridge and install new signs.
Just ahead of our traffic, the Golden Shovels are out in Puyallup, celebrating the end of a construction project that dead-ended in the 80s. The State Department of Transportation is finally finishing Highway 167 from Puyallup to I-5. Construction on the tolled expressway is set to begin later this month. It'll create a new freight corridor directly from Puyallup to I-5 in Fife. That road is expected to open in 2030.
Time to check traffic in 2026 with Chris Sullivan, who's watching the roads for us this morning.
And even though that road doesn't open until 2030, Google Maps still has it on as a closed road.
I know.
Google never got back to me. I've sent an email. I'm like, guys, fix the darn map. It's stupid to have a
here's
closed road.
It's showing up on everybody's map, Google Maps, except mine. I'm trying to figure out because I take 167 every dang day. But I don't see it because I kind of want to know how that goes through.
And it also says it's going to open in 2026.
Oh, no,
which
it's
is
not.
totally not. I mean, so Google has blown me off. I'm trying to get them to clarify and fix an error on their map. And
they know not to do it with me.
Yeah, well, they're going to be stuck with this nonsense for 4 years.
Again,
but anyway.
do they know who you are?
So they don't care. They're Google. We're looking at the map right now. 167 looking really good. I mean, we've got brake lights in Sumner, a little bit at the north end. 45 minutes to make that trip. Not too bad. Now that the car's out of the way on the ramp to 167 from westbound 410, things are getting better in Sumner. Of Olympia to Tacoma, 45 minutes. Brake lights up the hill to DuPont. We've got some sun glare there. And then a matching 45 minutes, that is, from Federal Way to Seattle. 45 to 50 now from Everett to Seattle. 45 from Everett to Bellevue. Definitely seeing heavy braking approaching that forced merge in Northgate. Again, no express lanes in the southbound direction until the end of the year. This report brought to you by Harborstone Credit Union. Earn up to $30 per month just for using your Harborstone PNW Cashback debit card. Open your free checking account online today. Harborstone.com/cash.
Beautiful day, mostly sunny again, warming up to about 84. Tomorrow, though, cooling off to 70. We'll see showers at times, maybe some thunder showers, maybe some sun breaks. But back to nice weather on Friday. Clouds in the morning, sunshine by afternoon, upper 70s, around 80 both Saturday and Sunday. Right now in Seattle, skies are clear. It's 60.
From ABC News, Wall Street now. A blue day for Big Blue. Shares in IBM plummeted 25% Tuesday after the company released preliminary second quarter results that fell short of analysts' expectations. CEO Arvind Krishna blames weakness in IBM's software business. At 3.5% year over year, inflation came in lighter than expected in June. But one side effect of that report, next year's cost of living adjustment for Social Security recipients has dropped a full percentage point to 3.7%. More than 24 former employees of Meta have filed suit against the social media giant, claiming the company used artificial intelligence in its latest round of layoffs. The plaintiffs say AI disregarded employee disabilities and pregnancies in violation of the law. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
The Trump administration says it needs a lot more money to fight the war with Iran. News Nation Washington correspondent Corey Smith has more.
The White House really laying it on thick here. Vice President J.D. Vance will be on the Hill shortly to make his pitch for more funding. It follows the president meeting with GOP lawmakers yesterday here at the White House. He's pushing them to fund part of this war through Reconciliation 3.0. And many of those same lawmakers then went to the Pentagon to be briefed by Secretary Pete Hegseth. It's going to be a tough sell with only a handful of legislative days left until the midterms. And there are those Republicans right now skeptical of the president's ability to bring this war to an end.
The White House has requested an $87 billion supplemental funds in a bill that faces bipartisan scrutiny and likely needs Democratic votes to pass.
Yesterday, Federal Reserve Chair Kevin Warsh told the House Financial Services Committee he vows to tackle inflation, calling it an undue burden on U.S. consumers. Warsh didn't celebrate the latest favorable inflation figures, saying they're just one data point in the economy. Texas Republican Committee Chair Pete Sessions tells ABC Warsh felt positive about the jobs market.
The job market is strong. It's hanging in there. It is doing the things it's supposed to do. There are slight increases in the amount of take-home pay. And while consumer spending is a bit soft and flat, he felt like that overall the balance was there.
J.P. Morgan Chase is investing heavily in Seattle's tech scene. The company's chief information officer, Lori Beer, was in town yesterday, meeting with employees at its Seattle Technology Center. She told the Puget Sound Business Journal the bank is expanding its AI and cybersecurity teams here. Beer says Seattle's density of cloud providers and artificial intelligence talent makes it a hub for what she called novel innovation. The bank already has about 400 workers at the Seattle Center.
Rebound continues at Boeing. The company delivered 171 commercial airplanes in the second quarter of this year, bringing the yearly total to 314. This is an improvement over Q2 of last year when Boeing delivered 150 commercial airplanes, most deliveries Boeing has made since in the first half since 2018.
And Costco's expanding. Costco announced plans to open 7 new stores next month, not here in Washington, but 2 in Texas, others in New York, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Georgia, and Missouri. The company says demand remains strong with nearly 83 million paid memberships worldwide.
Well, with those inflation numbers not quite as bad as they had been, the Wall Street is reacting well this morning. Dow is up 241 points. That's 0.46%. S&P 500 is ahead by 31. That's 0.4%. And NASDAQ is ahead by 154. That's 0.6%.
A word for KIRO 7. It starts on your street, in your home, with a problem you're struggling to solve. That's where KIRO 7 Investigates comes in. They show up, they ask hard questions, they get you answers. When your story is seen, change isn't just possible, it's already happening. Watch KIRO 7 News weeknights 5 to 6:30 p.m. and at KIRO7.com/investigates.
Okay, Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're seeing 10-minute delays on northbound 5 and southbound 5. We'll break it down for you next.
The opening bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
30 years ago,
I wanted to be part of keeping the Seahawks in Seattle long term.
3 decades later,
12, they're bringing the trophy home.
2 Super Bowl championship banners hang in the stadium Paul Allen built. Now, a new era of stewardship begins.
Most things that seem impossible become possible.
And we welcome the Khosla family to Seattle. From the home of the Seahawks since the very beginning, KIRO Newsradio.
Summertime means sunshine, baseball games, beach trips, hiking, and more. So don't let your bank stop you from having fun. Free checking at WaFd Bank is the way to go. There are no minimum balances or monthly maintenance fees to worry about. Plus, you'll get spending tools and the latest technology to help you stay on budget. Not only is WaFd Bank rated a best bank, we have more than 200 branches to serve you across 9 western states, so you have access wherever you are. Visit wafdbank.com to open your account. Additional fees may apply. Member FDIC.
Why is K2 Vision RLE a permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers? How is it that you'll never develop a cataract after K2 Vision RLE? And how is RLE different from LASIK?
Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. We'll answer those questions and others when you join us for our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Andy, what are some of the other questions you hear?
Well, how long is the procedure and recovery? Or who's a good candidate for RLE?
And we'll also answer, how much does RLE cost? Is there financing available? Does insurance pay for RLE?
Find out how K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers.
And cataracts too.
Right, no more cataracts.
K2 Vision's free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Space will be limited, so register now at k2visionrle.com.
Join us at our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Sign up at k2visionrle.com.
From the people who brought you It's the Dog Park comes.
Your dog is limping, but she seems fine. Plus, you've heard they can fake it just to get what they want. So what's the deal now? You're being gaslit.
Protect your dog from injury and illness with Progressive Pet Insurance.
Oh, now she switched legs. What a diva.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms.
When you see this in your kitchen.
The stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
You hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves. Or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
At 6:43, we check traffic on the 3s. Here's Chris Sullivan.
Well, we're starting to see about a 10-minute delay now on both southbound and northbound I-5. I'll start southbound first. This is the normal stuff we've gotten used to with the loss of the express lanes. We have a backup that begins right there at the forced merge and goes all the way back to about 145th. We're up over 50 minutes now from Everett into Seattle, about 45 from Everett to Bellevue as we see the brake lights there through Canyon Park. The northbound I-5 drive through the Lacey area is the one that's 10 minutes behind schedule. That's a sun glare slowdown. We're backed up from the Cabela's off and on down until you get to the bottom by the Nisqually River. 45 minutes from Olympia to Tacoma. Valley Freeway's not too bad in Sumner. It starts getting heavy in Auburn with the weaving and merging past Emerald Downs. Then you get a pretty good drive to about 180th, and then it bogs down all the way into downtown Renton. Give yourself about 50 minutes now to go from Renton to Bellevue. Puyallup to Renton. So not too bad, but by most days standards, standards about average. And then you have the Renton S-curves being pretty active, bumper to bumper all the way up past about 30th now. So we're getting closer to 30 minutes to make that drive from Renton on up into Bellevue. Also slowing on westbound 410, getting into and through Sumner. We had a long-term crash there right near 167. Eastbound 512 is normal slow stuff down the Puyallup Hill. The Lake Bridges, not too bad at this point, so start to see just a little bit of westbound slowing approaching I-5, but nothing you can't handle. 18 and 16 looking pretty decent at this time of the morning. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. AC not working? Don't assume the worst. Home Comfort Alliance repairs first, only replaces if needed. Get a real pricing quote in 60 seconds. HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Well, today is going to look just like yesterday, maybe a tick cooler, 84 for today. We did hit 85 yesterday. Tomorrow, much different. Showers, a little bit gusty at times. We might see some thunder showers and a high of only 70, but rebounding just in time for the weekend. Clouds Friday morning, sunshine in the afternoon and 76. Beautiful weekend ahead. Highs on either side of 80 both days. Right now in Seattle, it's clear and 60.
Coming up, one Supreme Court justice testified yesterday to Congress that she had to wear a bulletproof vest before a decision was handed down. We'll speak with ABC's Rich Frankel about that and more coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for honest pricing, expert service, and guaranteed repairs. This dedication has earned them a Carfax Preferred designation. This is Sully. At Bucky's, every customer gets detailed Carfax updates, timely service reminders, a full service history. It's all right there at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, easy financing, Bucky's makes auto care simple. Visit buckys.com today and drive with confidence.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising. After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the warehouse club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know! Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
6:48, rare appearance on Capitol Hill as two Supreme Court justices sat before a House Appropriations panel to explain why the court needs millions of dollars for increased security. Justice Amy Coney Barrett detailed the time she had to bring home a bulletproof vest.
Were particularly intense a few years ago around the time of the Dobbs leak. My security detail sent me home with a bulletproof vest, and I carried it into my house, put it into my bedroom, dropped it down on a table, turned around, and my 12-year-old son was standing in the doorway of my bedroom. And he wanted to know what it was and why I had it, and I didn't know how to respond.
ABC's Rich Frankel is a former special agent in charge with the FBI. He joins us live. Rich, that was pretty chilling to listen to.
Yeah, the threat to the Supreme Court justices has dramatically increased over the last few years, not only to Justice Barrett, but to Justice Kavanaugh, and actually to the entire bench. I believe that everyone on, whether associate justices or the Chief Justice, has received something that has caused them to think that they're either being threatened or that there could be harm coming to them. And so therefore, they're asking for a dramatic increase in security.
Do we know what kind of increase we're talking about and what that would look like?
Yeah, so they're asking for basically across the board security. So the Supreme Court is actually one of the only locations, I think, in D.C. that doesn't have a standalone facility that handles entry into the building. In other words, the visitors are searched, go through the magnetometers, and packages are searched before they actually enter into the Supreme Court itself. And so I think they want to actually build that standalone facility that doesn't bar people from coming in, but provides additional security to the justices. They're looking for cybersecurity. As you just mentioned, there were those leaks earlier on, several years ago, and there continue to be issues with cyber. And so they want to increase their cybersecurity. And then finally, they are asking for what I would call executive protection or Secret Service protection increases for each of the justices so that they have a dedicated team to protect them while they come to and from the courthouse, as well as they go to their other duties and events associated with being a justice of the Supreme Court.
Is this an unusual request, or is this just kind of a statement on where we are right now?
I think it's an unusual request in that they've never done that, and they have actually not even appeared before Congress since 2019. It's usual in the sense that, listen, there's always increases in security. There are always security changes, security, new mechanisms, new procedures. But the fact that they came to the court and asked for it in the way they did, that is unusual. And it shows that they feel that there is an ongoing new threat picture and new threat priorities associated with the Supreme Court.
Rich, what are these concerns we're hearing about drones?
Yeah, drone technology is changing day to day. We've had hundreds of drones at the World Cup event that had to be stopped from flying over. There are drones that they're afraid can be used and put basically some type of device on it that could cause harm, whether it's an explosive device or any other type of weapon. Or it's just used to identify what people are doing and use it for surveillance type of data and intelligence against the Supreme Court justices. So the police, the Supreme Court police officers are asking that they receive enhanced training and enhanced technology that they can identify these drone threats above either the Supreme Court or the justices' homes, and they have the ability to take down those drones or at least identify who are flying those drones.
We're just about out of time, but Rich, as a former special agent in charge with the FBI, how would you characterize overall national security today?
So it is a changing environment. We've always had national security concerns pre 9/11, post 9/11, but here we have the Iranian threat. We have threats from Russia, China. We have threats from countries that you actually don't think are a threat as far as certain national security concerns. Some are more dangerous, are terrorist type threats or actual threats to harm, whether it's the president or our other leaders. And then others are just to identify, some of our technology, some of our knowledge base, and take that, steal it, and use it for their own use. So it's a ever increasing, changing national security threat. But I think right now, if we have all of our agencies, all the members of the intelligence community, the military, looking into it, we're in a pretty good place. We just have to make sure that they stay focused on that and are willing to change with the changing threat environment.
First time on the show with us, ABC News contributor, former FBI special agent in charge, Rich Frankel. Thanks for joining us on Seattle's Morning News.
Thank you. Have a great day, guys.
We appreciate it. We need to get to traffic. We do that every 10 minutes, and Chris Sullivan is standing by.
And we're already up to an hour now from Everett into Seattle, with 40 of those minutes from Linwood as we bog down from about 145th all the way down past 85th before things start loosening up. It's a 10-minute faster trip on 405. The brake lights through Canyon Park and Bothell are manageable. 50 minutes from Everett into Bellevue. Olympia to Tacoma, still seeing sun glare up the hill towards DuPont. Give yourself 45 minutes to get to Tacoma, and then Federal Way to Seattle. About 45. A little over 50 now from Puyallup to Renton, brake lights in Auburn and at the north end, and then Renton to Bellevue is inching closer to a half an hour. Not quite there yet, but we're getting closer. Looking at eastbound 512, a little slow down the hill. Westbound 410, pretty heavy. Now coming down from Bonnie Lake, I think we might have a new crash right at Valley Ave that's causing the backup down the hill from Winco, so plan on some delays there. Lake bridges are fine. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial, 97.3 HD2.
Another lovely summer day in Seattle, mostly sunny, 84 for today. Tomorrow is going to be a bit of a change. Showers, maybe thunder showers, a little gusty too, and a high of only 70, but back to the nice weather by Friday afternoon. Right now, it's clear and 60 in Seattle.
Well, coming up, KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery on the move in the U.S. Senate this week that could finally bring an end to falling back and springing forward.
You're listening to Seattle's Morning News here on KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, where you hear G and Ursula.
Why are we talking about a new stadium?
Weekdays 9 to noon.
In the NFL, the average stadium has 157 suites. You know, where the rich folks be.
Okay.
Here in Seattle, you're talking about 120. If you're an owner, I want to potentially have a Super Bowl in Seattle.
Sure, I'll take a new stadium as long as not one tax dollar is spent on it.
Subscribe to the G and Ursula Show on YouTube and watch live or later. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with my buddy Dave Taylor from First Mark Insurance. So glad, so thankful that Molly and I made the call. Had heard so many First Mark Challenge victories, we needed to take that challenge. What does happen from your perspective when that caller, when that email, when that person reaches out to you for a First Mark Challenge victory?
That's a great question. So there's several steps we go through in the process. The first step is we're going to gather information, find out all we can about that client and what their needs are. The next step is we will go out to the market. We have dozens and dozens of carriers that will compete for the business. At the end of that process, we will then bring those findings back to the customer, show them what we found, and who the eventual winner was in that competition.
And it may be who they're with.
It might be, yes. And sometimes that's the best we can do is recommend they stay where they are, but maybe modify a few coverages to put them in a better position.
So go take that challenge today. Go be the next First Mark Challenge victory. It costs you nothing, and they will be there with you every step of the way. FirstMarkInsurance.com. FirstMarkInsurance.com.
I had pain. I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug, and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
At the Boy Scouts of America, our oath remains. A Scout pledges to be kind, helpful, and brave. We're committed to providing a safe and welcoming environment where Scouts can establish the foundations of character that will last a lifetime. Our approach ensures the Boy Scouts of America is building the youth of today into the leaders we'll turn to tomorrow. The Boy Scouts of America. Building character is in our nature. Visit scouting.org to learn more about scouting.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only. Friday through Sunday, Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep, deep discounts. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Our summertime savings event means 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months, backed by our unbeatable warranties. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. On Capitol Hill right now, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche facing the members of the Senate Judiciary Committee, where Senator Chuck Grassley is the chair.
The Senate has already judged your fitness for high office and confirmed you as the department's second in command. Today, we consider you for a promotion.
But before he can shed the acting from his title, he's expected to face hours of sharp questions, ranging from the handling of the Epstein files to the so-called anti-weaponization fund. The U.S. targeting Iranian missile launch and storage sites in the first daytime attacks since the first 5 months and a half of the war. 3 people are still missing after a boat sank near Alcatraz Island. 1 person has been killed. New numbers in the economy this morning. The Producer Price Index, tracking prices at the wholesale level, shows they were 5.5% higher in June than a year ago. This is ABC News. You've maybe heard that mold, dust, and pet dander can trigger an asthma attack. Parents of kids with asthma have been advised not to get a cat. But new research suggests something surprising, says ABC's Melissa Dunn.
In a study of more than 30,000 children published in Frontiers in Allergies, children with asthma living with cats didn't experience worse asthma symptoms or more asthma attacks than those without a cat.
An allegation that AI helped to illegally target employees. ABC's Jim Ryan.
More than 24 former employees of Meta have filed suit against the social media giant, claiming the company used artificial intelligence in its latest round of layoffs. The plaintiffs say AI disregarded employee disabilities and pregnancies in violation of the law.
Astronomers have discovered a faint new world orbiting a young star that is 63 light years away. 2 teams working independently with 2 different telescopes discovered it. Details are in the astrophysical journal Letters. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
7:02, here's what's happening.
The House has passed a bill to make daylight saving time permanent. Jillian Raftery will have more.
The death of a security guard at a Kent Health Clinic has been ruled a homicide. 62-year-old Samson Muhammad of Tacoma died in May, 4 months after being pushed to the sidewalk at a Health Point clinic.
And J.P. Morgan Chase says it's growing its AI and cybersecurity teams here in Seattle, calling the city a hub for tech talent.
Time to get a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes on Seattle's Morning News. Here's Sully.
And I could use a little help from my KIRO drivers on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line 888-973-5476. Voice to text or have your passenger text. Don't you do it. Don't want you to get a distracted driving ticket. But I could use some help. For those of you coming out of Bonnie Lake, I've got reports of a new crash at Valley Ave. I'm not sure which lane it's blocked on westbound 410, but we're backing up well before Winco all the way down the hill, so I could use some help there. Big time delay. Once you head over to the Valley Freeway, it's running about 50 minutes. That's average for this time of day, and then not quite a half an hour rented to Bellevue. Olympia to Tacoma's got a 45-minute clip for you. We've got Sunglare up the hill to up to DuPont as you work your way up past Mounts Road, and then Federal Way to Seattle's about 45 minutes. Already well over an hour from Everett to Seattle with the forced merge and the lack of the express lanes on southbound 5 at Northgate. Give yourself at least 40 minutes away from Linwood. About the same deal for 405. We've got 40 minutes there down from Linwood with heavy braking from Canyon Park down through Bothell. Lake bridges, though, are in good shape. This report brought to you by Harborstone Credit. Earn up to $30 per month for just using your Harborstone PNW Cash back debit card. Open your free checking account online today. Harborstone.com/cash.
Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:04. Time changes could be a thing of the past if the Senate approves a bill to make daylight saving time permanent.
KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery is live to explain.
And this debate has been going on for years, but staying on daylight saving time is closer than ever thanks to the personal lobbying of President Donald Trump, and it has the support of Washington's own Senator Patty Murray.
Do you hate when the sun sets at 4 p.m. during the winter in Seattle?
I know I do. What would permanent daylight saving mean? No turning back the clock. We'd stay on the time we are on now, but that would also mean the potential for darkness until 9 a.m. in the winter. I know I wouldn't like that, and a lot of people have said they don't like that either, which creates a lot of controversy in getting this change happening. Some have lobbied to stay on standard time. Like I said earlier, Washington already passed a measure to stay on daylight saving time, but because of the Uniform Time Act, our state has to wait for this bill to pass at the federal level to actually make that change. State legislatures have considered over 800 bills and resolutions in recent years to actually make this change, and British Columbia actually approved permanent daylight saving. So this fall, there will be an hour difference right across the border. Professor Nate Watson is co-director of the UW Sleep Medicine Center and says the time change does a lot more damage than you think.
So unfortunately, we lose sleep that we never get back.
People are cranky. More car crashes are reported on and after time changes. Here's Senator Patty Murray again.
This is a burden and a headache we don't need.
Although this measure was approved in the House, it actually faces an uphill battle in the Senate, and there are a lot of special interests that have lobbied against these changes.
Well, working these hours we do, Jillian, there's a lot of sleep we never get back.
Yeah. Which explains why you're cranky all the time.
Hey, I just said you aren't
Just
cranky.
Kidding. It's 7:06. Jillian, thanks. Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson says the city's updated climate action plan depends on cutting waste and building a true circular economy. Here's KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
At the new Reuse Commons in Lake City, where the focus is on reuse, repair, and share, Mayor Katie Wilson said stopping reusable materials from going into the landfill and relying less on brand new goods is key to reducing carbon emissions and keeping Seattle a climate leader.
Efforts like this, where we're stopping materials from going to the landfill, reducing the amount of kind of new things, so that helps toward those goals.
Reuse Commons is a shared space that co-locates multiple reuse, repair, and share services under one roof. In Lake City, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Fire officials in Washington are nervously watching this week's hot and dry weather forecast, especially tomorrow because there are possible thunderstorms and lightning, especially in eastern Washington. Ryan Roderick with the State Department of Natural Resources says you can do your part to keep the sparks off the landscape.
We need to make sure that we are respecting those burn bans where they are in place, keeping as many sparks off the landscape as possible. And if you live in an area that's prone to wildfire, make sure that you are hardening your property against that potential wildfire threat.
Says it's important to be aware of local burn bans, campfire safety, and when to call 911 if you see smoke.
King County says it's not too late to be ready for wildfires. A new toolkit recommends creating a 5-foot buffer around homes by removing flammable materials. It also says clean roofs and gutters, prune trees, and screen vents to keep out wind-blown embers. The kit also urges families to plan evacuation routes, pack emergency go bags, and sign up for alert notifications.
For over 50 years, this is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
7:07, Wednesday morning, July 15th.
That's crazy. he's Charlie Harger on Manda Factor. It's almost August for heaven's sake.
But I was out on my patio yesterday.
Beautiful.
It was just fantastic. I did not want to go inside. This is just kind of a perfect time of year, especially.
But you were asked by your neighbor.
Well, but this is
right?
true. This is true. Only a few of the Auburn PD's finest came over.
No, they didn't.
I kid. But we've got this daylight saving time proposal. It would be, the late start. So you're a little skeptical.
I don't know. I mean, I get both sides of this. I mean, it makes sense in both directions. As a golfer, I'd love it to be sunnier later in the day to get some twilight in. But I'm also, worried about, rainy, gray days with kids at a bus stop through 9 a.m., with the distracted driving and things like that. So I get it. I just want us to pick one. I'm just tired of the forward and the back and the forward and the back. Just figure it out. Let us know. We'll adjust. But I see both sides of it.
All right. Well, coming up this hour of the show, we have the Trump administration announcing this week a reduction in immigration raids. We'll get the latest from ABC News.
How about the 7:35 commentary?
Well, there was a Redondo restaurant that served all-you-can-eat stir-fry, and it also had laminated marriage advice on every table. There's a tip my wife and I still use. We'll talk about that coming up.
It's 7:09. A 3-alarm fire destroyed a warehouse in Seattle's industrial district this morning. KIRO 7 TV's Tyra Majors reports when firefighters arrived, they found 2 tractor trailers engulfed in flames right next to the building.
This does appear to be some type of drum recycling business. Officials have not confirmed that is what indeed caught fire, but there is a strong toxic-like smell in the air. And because of that smoke, people who live nearby are being asked to keep their windows and doors closed. SDOT also urging drivers to avoid 7th Avenue South between South Oregon Street and South Snoqualmie Street.
Washington's fight over the new millionaire's income tax is heating up. KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey reports a repeal campaign is now underway, while Governor Ferguson is highlighting the people he says would be hurt if the tax disappears.
Supporters of Initiative 645 have launched a statewide signature drive to repeal the millionaire's tax. At the same time, Governor Bob Ferguson is campaigning against that measure, pointing to families and people like Nicolette Rowe, a mother of 3 who rely on state-funded services the tax would fund.
It was things like health care and nutrition support that helped me go to work, to earn a degree, and eventually to become financially stable.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Well, a new poll first reported by the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red 770 AM says Washington voters overwhelmingly oppose that new income tax. The Signal survey commissioned by the Concerned Taxpayers Accountability Center found 67% oppose the tax, 21% in favor. According to the poll, opposition remains strong even after respondents heard arguments supporting the tax. Another survey shows something completely different. The GBAO survey has 58% of voters saying they would reject the initiative, with just 38% in support of overturning the new law. The measure applies to household income above $1 million. It faces legal challenges, is expected to go before voters on the November ballot.
Turns out a secret bidding war could be brewing for a new Seattle Supersonics team. Only one group has been public about their attempts to bring the city an NBA expansion franchise, but Commissioner Adam Silver said last night private groups are also trying to bring a team here. Here's what he said.
I wouldn't conclude that because there aren't other public groups coming forward that therefore there isn't other interest in Seattle. There is.
He says the league is evaluating the financial bids, looking closely at the people behind them. Silver says he's hopeful the NBA will make its final decision before the end of the year.
The 65-year-old Whatcom County grandpa says he knows how close he came to dying after a bison attacked him in Yellowstone. Here's KIRO News Radio's Tim Hull.
Carl McDaniel tells CNN he was walking through Yellowstone's Bridge Bay campground with his grandson when he noticed a bison acting agitated. The resident of Kendall, east of Bellingham, says there wasn't enough time to get out of the way before the animal charged. The bison tossed him into the air, then stood over him before walking away. McDaniel broke his femur near his hip. He underwent surgery on Sunday and is now in physical therapy. The National Park Service reminds visitors to stay at least 25 yards away from bison. It says the animals can run 3 times faster than people. Tim Hull, KIRO News Radio.
7:12 now. Let's get a check on the weather. It's been warm and dry, and now thunderstorms and lightning potentially in the forecast. Nick Allard, how concerned are you about this?
It depends. I mean, east of the Cascades, it's so dry that any thunderstorm activity makes me nervous, and we do have a fire weather watch that'll start tonight and through tomorrow night for the Cascades, the Olympics, and east of the Cascades. And that's all going to be happening later this afternoon and evening there. But then western Washington is just hot and dry today with more cloud cover compared to yesterday. And then I think overnight and into tomorrow morning, we see quite a bit of rain moving through. And for the morning, it'll be wet. And there could also be some thunderstorms mixed in. So the thunderstorm threat west of the Cascades, while there, and I'm sure will pop up, is not as concerning as east of the Cascades. But really, anytime that sort of thing happens this year, it makes me a little bit nervous just because it's dry. I mean, there's just no other way around it. It's dry. So we'll see dry weather today west of the Cascades. Tomorrow, though, it's rain turning to showers. Could be heavy at times. Thunderstorms possible, and we're much cooler from 84, 85 today to like 68 to 70, 71 tomorrow. And then Friday, we just see clouds early and then slowly see increasing sunshine. And then through the weekend, you're low 80s, and next week gets hot again into the upper 80s.
All right. Going to be toasty. Right now in Seattle, it's 60.
And it's 7:13. Time for a check on traffic. Every 10 minutes on the threes. Chris Sullivan, what do you see?
Well, I got about a 2.5 to 3 mile backup on westbound 410 coming out of Bonnie Lake, working down towards Valley Ave in Sumner, where we have a lane blocked for a crash. Give yourself an extra 10 and 12 minutes to try to make your way through this. It's backed up well before the Winco, all the way down. So that's our one crash that's active onto the board. Once you make it over to the Valley Freeway, you've got about a 50-minute trip total, off and on, maybe a little bit more depending on how you hit the volume in Auburn. It's pretty thick up past Emerald Downs, then you get a nice long break up to about 180th. Rented to Bellevue, we're seeing brake lights up past 30th, but after that, not bad. Under 30 to make that drive to Bellevue. Olympia to Tacoma, we've moved through some of the sun glares, so we're under 45 minutes from Olympia to Tacoma. Better way to Seattle's getting closer to 50 at this point. Lake bridges are still fine. Coming down from the north end, definitely, where we're looking at some problems. So we've got ourselves about an hour and 10-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. And again, that is just volume as we deal with Revive I-5 Day 3 in the return since the World Cup. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Seattle's morning news. Always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
7:15 now. On ABC's Start Here program this morning, host Brad Mielke was joined by former DHS official John Cohen to discuss a halt on ICE vehicle stops.
Yesterday morning, there were two big stories about the U.S. government. One was about the Iran war. President Trump not only committing naval forces to take control of the Strait of Hormuz, but declaring he would start charging international shippers a toll for the right of safe passage. The other story, though, was here at home, as yet again protesters gathered after a shooting death at the hands of ICE agents during what started as a traffic stop. Well, as the day went on, both these stories took big turns. In Iran, President Trump is no longer calling for tolls on passing ships, instead saying his administration will reach trade agreements with other countries that will accomplish a similar goal.
And we would like to invest tremendously in the United States as opposed to charging a fee. And I like that, actually, because I don't think anybody should be able to charge a fee for the Strait.
Was this because he saw the price of oil spiking once again? Or perhaps because some in his own administration had already stated that charging tolls would break international law? Whatever the reason, President Trump has once again backed down after making a major threat. Well, then, in the other remarkable retreat of the day, Homeland Security Secretary Markwayne Mullin apparently told ICE agents to immediately scale back these vehicle stops. Sources tell ABC News that he personally gave the order after hearing from Maine's Republican Senator Susan Collins. So today, I want to start the show by focusing on this more. What is happening and what needs to change? John Cohen knows about Homeland Security. He's the former assistant DHS secretary. He's now an ABC News contributor. John, what do we know about this new directive?
Well, Brad, it sounds like the Secretary of Homeland Security has instructed ICE, and I would also imagine CBP, to take a step back and to stop these vehicle stops. And I can tell you, Brad, this was the right thing for the Secretary to do.
I was going to say, are you surprised by this sort of decision?
I'm not surprised at all. I mean, as somebody who's been involved in hundreds, if not thousands, of vehicle stops throughout my career as a uniformed police officer, as an undercover police officer, and having reviewed a number of these videos, the tactics and techniques that are being used by ICE and CBP are not what I would describe as accepted practice. They're dangerous, and the danger is not only to the occupant of the vehicle that's being stopped, but it's also dangerous for the law enforcement personnel involved in the stop, and quite frankly, for members of the community who are in the area of the stop.
Well, let's get into this, because first of all, is it my imagination? I don't know if we have data to back this up, but is it becoming more common to see incidents like these vehicle stops by ICE agents? Is it more likely that they are turning deadly?
Yeah, you raise a really interesting point. After the first of the year when we had the shootings in Minneapolis, you really saw what appeared to be a reduction in the highly visible public enforcement activities that ICE and CBP were engaged in communities across the country.
I have proposed, and President Trump has concurred, that this surge operation conclude.
Over the last several weeks, I'm told that at the direction of the White House, ICE has been expanding their neighborhood enforcement efforts, meaning they're targeting both criminal and non-criminal migrants who may be subject to removal operations, and they're targeting them in neighborhoods. And instead of contacting that person while they're walking down the street or while they're in a office or a residence, they're waiting for these people to go mobile, and then they are trying to stop the vehicles that they're in. We've seen several highly public lethal encounters, one in Houston and one in Maine, just in the course of several days. We've also seen videotapes of traffic stops in Pennsylvania and other places. So it appears, at least anecdotally at least, that we are seeing an increase not only in these stops, but also in stops that are resulting in injuries or deaths. Yeah. But part of the problem here, and I think this is a big part of the story, and let's put, the politics of immigration enforcement aside, right? I mean, that's an important debate. What concerns me the most as someone who's spent over 40 years in law enforcement are the tactics and techniques that are being used by these ICE and CBP personnel. You do not conduct a vehicle stop by following somebody around in an unmarked car, in some cases having lights, in other cases not having emergency lights, boxing that car in, having law enforcement personnel who are dressed in, various different ways, some wearing tactical vests, not always easily identifiable, running up to a car, screaming and yelling and swearing and breaking windows, and in some cases standing in front of the car with other agents in your field of fire. That's just not how you do these types of stops. And
but you just said you've done plainclothes stops before. What would be the difference?
Well, typically, if I'm a plainclothes officer and I want to stop a vehicle because a person in that vehicle is suspected of being involved in a crime, I would call a marked unit. And I'd have that marked unit with its, clear markings and its lights and sirens, pull the car over. And if it was a felony car stop type of situation, there are tactics for making felony car stops. I have on occasion been involved in car stops where undercover vehicles will position themselves in such a way that the car was unable to move forward or sideways. And then in a very controlled way, we would have the suspect in that vehicle exit the vehicle.
Although I should make it clear, DHS is not admitting that there's any lack of training here. In fact, they haven't admitted any wrongdoing by these officers at ICE in either of these shootings in Houston or in Maine. But I mean, John, what do you think then could change? If multiple sources, by the way, have told us this is a temporary pause in these types of vehicle stops, that there will be training, that they'll resume after there's more training. What do you think that training might entail?
Well, hopefully the training is going to entail how to properly do a vehicle stop. Hopefully the operational changes will include finding ways to work more closely with state and local law enforcement. So when there is a need to make a vehicle stop, and, I've done investigations where we've waited for the person to drive their car, park, and exit their vehicle, then we arrest them. But trying to stop somebody in a moving vehicle is dangerous for the officer or the agent, for the person in the vehicle, and for others in the community.
Well, and in terms of identifying people, I mean, in both of these cases, in Houston and in Maine, we've had law enforcement say this was actually not the intended target of the operation. John Cohen, really helpful analysis. Thank you so much.
Great to be with you as always.
And in just the last couple of hours, the president contradicting this recent decision, saying on Truth Social, we cannot give up one of ICE's most important and effective crime-fighting tools. And in all caps, he writes, the traffic stop, indicating that ICE traffic stops should continue.
Just about 7:23, and that's time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes on the threes for you. And Chris Sullivan is watching the drive.
I could still use some help from my drivers because WashDOT hasn't given me any guidance on exactly what lanes are blocked there, or what the situation is on westbound 410 at Valley Ave in the Sumner area. But we're backed up more than 2.5 miles all the way back into Bonnie Lake, and we're looking at about a 15-minute delay at a minimum. So I could use some help from my drivers to let me know what you're seeing out there. Once you get over to the Valley Freeway itself, itself, it's about a 50-minute clip from there on up into the Renton area, and then Renton to Bellevue is about a half an hour. Olympia to Tacoma, not bad at 40 minutes, and then about an hour drive now from Federal Way to Seattle, kind of settled into a typical drive for you guys. Out of the north end, Revive I-5 is doing its thing. We got ourselves about an hour and 10 to an hour and 15-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue, and of course,
it's a reminder that, yes, it doesn't get there very often, and only when it really has to.
We're back into the grind, and we're looking at that $15 mark coming down out of Linwood if you're trying to make your way through those toll lanes. And as we know and we've gotten used to over the years of that, $15 really doesn't get you much because you're going about the same speed as everybody else. This traffic report brought to you by me, KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Headed for a high of 84 in Seattle today. Mostly sunny, but what a turnaround tomorrow. We will have rain, thunderstorms, maybe some lightning east of the Cascades could be an issue. 70 the high for tomorrow, but then we bounce back. 76 are high on Friday, low 80s by the weekend. Seattle right now, it's 60.
Coming up, secret bidding war. There may be more than one potential buyer vying for ownership of an NBA team here. We'll get the latest from KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery.
Plus, in today's commentary, marriage advice involving a losing lotto ticket, $50, and a very happy wife. It was laminated next to the sriracha at a local restaurant. I'll explain at 7:35.
This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
This hour is brought to you by CM Heating.
KIRO News Radio, where you hear Jake and Spike. Weekdays noon to 3.
Mike Salk from the Brock and Salk Show joins us now. This is essentially $10 billion for a team. They're not going to squabble over a millionaire's tax. They don't really care about that. Not. I hate the millionaire's tax for other reasons. It's not because I thought it would stop.
It's a really interesting conversation. It has nothing to do with the Seahawks sale. Using it to get clicks on a story that has nothing to do with it.
That's a fair point.
Drives me crazy.
Yeah. Watch live or later on the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel.
I love a girls' weekend, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin, thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
You can usually find me in the kitchen, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm still in the mix with Skyrizi to treat my joint symptoms.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin when measured from head to toe at 4 months.
Or if you're an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
This summer, I'm driving my first hybrid, the 2026 Subaru Forester Touring Hybrid, which I got at Carter Subaru. It's a beauty and has excellent safety features. Carter Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealership with over 800 in stock, including the 2026 Subaru Outback for 0.9% APR. Carter Subaru in Ballard, Shoreline, or cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 7/31/26.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-330-8323 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
You're in charge of ordering boxes. Small boxes, big boxes, really big boxes. You're in charge of tape, labels, mailers, bubble wrap, extra bubble wrap. Just for fun. You're in charge of warehouse cleaning and safety supplies. Good thing there's Uline. Thousands of quality products for your business and warehouse needs, always in stock, ready to ship same day, and backed by Uline's legendary 24/7 customer service. Uline makes it easy because you already do enough. Uline. We warehouse for you.
At Seattle Children's Hospital, 1 in 3 patient families can't afford the food their kids need to heal. A child recovering from surgery and the family struggling to put nutritious food on the table. That's why Seattle Children's, Safeway, and Seahawk, Jackson Smith and Jigba launched the Food First Project to fight pediatric food insecurity by providing grocery cards, produce vouchers, and food as medicine programs for families. No barriers, just help. 12s, we need you. Learn more at Safeway.com. Again, that's Safeway.com.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
With Guardian Roofing Gutters and Insulation, maintenance is the key to a long-lasting roof. Need an inspection, repair, restoration, moss removal, or just a cleanup? Call us today. Our first-time customers can save $99. Visit us at GuardianRoofing.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:30. Well, the sports gossip is buzzing this morning.
Yeah, this got our attention. The NBA commissioner dropped a big hint about behind-the-scenes maneuvering going on to bring NBA basketball back to Seattle.
Let's get the latest live from KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery.
Commissioner Adam Silver hinted at a secret bidding war that's going on. This happened at a press conference when reporter Tim Booth asked him if expansion talks were still on track, given that only one group has expressed interest in bringing the NBA back to Seattle. But Silver corrected the record and said the group is the only one expressing public interest.
Most of the groups that are interested have not been public, and that's any group that's chosen to be public is their decision.
This is good news for Sonics fans because things have been pretty quiet since the NBA announced Seattle and Las Vegas would be considered for expansion teams. And it's a big contrast to Vegas, where there's been more public jockeying between potential ownership groups. What we do know is that there is huge public support for the NBA's return here to Seattle, with Governor Bob Ferguson meeting behind closed doors with the commissioner at least twice this year.
I think I'll leave it to the NBA and the commissioner to share what they want to share, but it was an important conversation, a valuable one, and I just appreciate his chatting with me.
Silver says the price of the team is only part of the deal, though insiders say between the expansion fee and a possible new stadium, costs could top $10 billion. We could get an update on the next Board of Governors meeting in September.
Okay, Jillian, it's 7:32.
Seattle's Public Safety Committee is taking another look at the city's response to open-air drug use. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman.
Data provided by SPD to Seattle City Council showed that from 2024 to 25, arrests for drug use and possession went up 47%, while law enforcement diversion to get people into services went down 30%.
Exactly what we said would happen has happened.
And that's what you have at Little Saigon in these neighborhoods.
Public Safety Chair Bob Kettle argues those previous ordinances aren't enough. That's why he's pushing for amendments to the current city ordinance.
All right, y'all, sign it back up.
Giving police officers more leeway to call on PDA staff and other service providers to meet them out in the field on certain cases.
Bill cracking down on copper wire theft could get another shot in Olympia next year. King County Prosecutor Lisa Mannion says the measure, which didn't pass this session, would require recyclers to photograph wire brought in for sale and let police seize and trace suspected stolen wire. She compares it to the catalytic converter law, which led to a big drop in theft in King County. And Mannion told the G and Ursula show she expects the same thing to happen if this law passes.
That is absolutely my hope. And if catalytic converter thefts are any kind of indicator, that's what we expect to happen with copper wire theft.
Mannion is building a coalition, including Sound Transit and the state attorney general's office, to push it through in 2027.
It's 7:33. That's time for another check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes on the threes. What's up, Sully?
Well, I got to thank Mike, the cable guy. Just let me know it is the left lane that is blocked on westbound 410 in the Sumner area, right at Valley Ave there, that has created the 2.5 mile backup out of Bonnie Lake and the 15-minute delay there. We're backed up almost all the way from Veterans Memorial now, all the way to that crash scene. So thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Can't do it without your eyes. Don't have a lot of cams in that area, so big time delays there. That's really our one active crash on the board so far. Y'all up to Renton running around 50 minutes, normal day for you guys. Now up to about 40 minutes, really, from Renton to Bellevue. Those S-curves are just clamped down, and we're seeing brake lights from I-90 up into South Bellevue. Northbound I-5, Olympia to Tacoma, has brake lights down the hill. A little sun glare there out of Lacey. Give yourself 45 minutes again from Tacoma to Federal Way. Sorry, Olympia to Tacoma. Tacoma to Federal Way is running around 22 minutes, slowing up the hill to 18, according to our good friend Marguerite, who's coming up from Lacey. Looking at Federal Way to Seattle of about an hour with the heaviest brake lights there past the West Seattle Bridge. Coming down from the north end, deja vu all over again. Hour and 20 minutes from Everett to Bellevue, hour and 15 Everett to Bellevue as we settle back into another long 6 months of Revive I-5. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. AC not working? Don't assume the worst. Home Comfort Alliance repairs first and only replaces if needed. Get real pricing quotes in 60 seconds at homecomfortalliance.com.
Our forecast, a very nice day. It's going to be a little warm, 84 again. And then tomorrow, cooling off to about 70. We do have a chance of some showers, possibly thunder showers tomorrow, gusty. More likely the thunder showers will happen in the mountains. 70 for the high tomorrow. And then on Friday, look for clouds early on, sunshine in the afternoon, 76. Highs around 80 both Saturday and Sunday with lots of sunshine. Right now, the sun is shining, it's 60 in Seattle.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Time for the 7:35 commentary. There used to be a nice little restaurant next to the Redondo Fred Meyer called the Pack Highway Mongolian Grill. And on every table right next to the menu, the owner left 3 laminated pages of marriage advice. 2 pages were his, 1 was his wife's. The first tip on the husband's side, tell your wife you smell something burning. When she asks why, you say, my heart is burning for you. My wife and I ate there all the time before it closed. All you can eat, pick your own meats and vegetables. The owner was Mr. Kim, a really nice man who ran it with his wife. His guide was called 31 Ways for a Mr. Kim to Make a Happy Home. Her page was called How to Be Loved by Mrs. Kim. 24 tips from her. I've thought about those 3 pages more often and more fondly than almost anything anyone has handed to me in a restaurant. Now, most of our marriages run on whatever we absorbed from our parents, minus the parts we swore we'd never repeat. We didn't write it down, but the Kims, they wrote it down, numbered it, laminated it, and left it next to the sriracha for strangers to read while they waited for their stir fry. Now, some of the tips are flat out wonderful. Tip 12, wake up, tell your wife today feels like your lucky day, go buy a lotto ticket, come home and tell her it was a winner, and hand her $50. In parentheses, he writes, even though the ticket wasn't a winner. See, she makes him feel lucky. He wants her to feel it too. Tip 31 says, give your wife a thank you trophy at the end of every year because she worked hard to make a happy home. An actual trophy. I bet you haven't given your spouse a trophy recently. Mr. Kim did it every year. No participation awards in that family. Some of the tips wouldn't fly in the Harger house for 5 seconds. Tip 4, finances should be controlled by husband. Why? Money means power. Tip 11, husband is the king. Mrs. Kim's page tells wives to do their makeup before the husband wakes up, wash his feet when he comes home tired. There's more massage and rubbing your spouse with oil talk than you'd expect to find at a restaurant. My wife read the same pages. We loved it. She also had thoughts. But these two people, Mr. and Mrs. Kim, seemed happy. They built a marriage and a business together. They were generous enough to share the blueprint with total strangers eating stir fry. Their deal was their deal, negotiated openly, written down, and posted where anyone could see it. Who am I to judge a marriage that works for them? Okay, a few items later, the husband is told to take the comforter to the coin laundry because it's hard for a wife to wash bedding by herself. He is supposed to read comics while he waits. Now, I love this image of Mr. Kim in a plastic chair at a laundromat in Federal Way. He's flipping through Batman while a king-size comforter tumbles dry. That's real love. There's also a tip about making a $3,000 annual donation to your wife's family because she doesn't get paid for housework. My brother-in-law listens to this show, and I need him to understand this is Mr. Kim's advice, not mine. Don't get any ideas, Trip. Mrs. Kim's page had the practical wisdom. She tells wives to leave if their husband gambles. Why? Divorce 80% are gambling problems. That's a woman who watched some marriages and took notes. Now, my wife and I did not adopt the Kim system. Our finances are a democracy. Nobody washes anybody's feet. But we quoted that list to each other for years. We still see it come up on our Facebook memories. One of us still says, "My heart is burning for you." Then one day, the restaurant was just gone. No farewell sign, no news item. The strip mall moved on the way strip malls do. We still wonder where the Kims went. I hope it was somewhere good. Wherever you are, Mr. Kim, tip number 1 still works. Something is burning. You can see the entire list of tips from the Kims on mynorthwest.com. We've posted it up there. That's the 735 commentary. You can text your thoughts to the Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line, 888-973-5476. You can join the chat on our YouTube Live at KIRO Newsradio. You can also leave a comment at My Northwest.
I love Mr. and Mrs. Kim.
They were awesome.
That is so cool.
You've got to read the whole list.
I'm laughing
You got to read the whole list.
Okay.
Holly gets a trophy every day.
No, she
because I'm a trophy husband.
It's 7:40. What's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're going to take a look at the crash in Sumner that's causing trouble, and we're up to hour and 20-minute drives out of Everett. We'll break it down next.
If you're wearing glasses or contacts, but you need reading glasses or bifocals now, you need to join Drs. Kopstein and King for the K2 Vision RLE live webinar this Thursday at noon to learn about refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE. This free webinar is a perfect opportunity to meet the doctors and have them answer all your questions about K2 Vision RLE. Questions like, how much does RLE cost? Is financing available? Does insurance pay for RLE? These questions and lots more will be covered this Thursday at noon during the K2 Vision RLE free live webinar. K2 Vision surgeons have performed over 150,000 procedures. They know when RLE is right for you. K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers. Plus, no more cataracts. Don't miss the free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Register at K2VisionRLE.com. K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
The sounds of summer. They're great until they're not. Luckily, AutoZone has free battery testing and charging.
Let me check that for you.
To help make a rough moment smooth. Don't miss the Celebrate Free event at AutoZone. Free products with select deals until July 27th. And free services every day. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Washington drivers share the road with thousands of semi-trucks, but new reporting and federal investigations have unveiled that as many as 1 in 5 of those trucks are operated by chameleon carriers, trucking companies that rack up crashes and safety violations only to close and reopen under a new name with a clean record. If you've been injured in a trucking accident, time may be running out to recover. Call Davis Law Group today at 206-888-8888 or visit davislawgroupseattle.com.
I'm spending my summer in a new Subaru Forester Touring Hybrid from Carter Subaru, and yes, I am officially spoiled. It is so comfortable, and as my first hybrid, the timing couldn't be better with the high gas prices. And for a limited time, you can also get a 2026 Subaru Crosstrek starting at 1.9% APR. Carter Subaru in Ballard, Shoreline, or cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 7/31/26.
It's 7:43. We check traffic on the threes with Sully.
Tell your wife not to get upset about being stuck in traffic for 25 minutes on I-5 or 405. Yeah, you guys are slugging it out. Revive I-5 is back, and we are dealing with it the last 2 mornings, and we've settled in. Hour and 20-minute trips from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, with an hour of that just away from Linwood. For 405, the brake lights begin right there at 405, go all the way down past 522, and then kind of meander through Totem Lake. For I-5, it's not bad through through Linwood, and then you get down to about 175th, and that's where you hit the Vice, and you're in it, the brake lights all the way down across the Ship Canal Bridge. 99 southbound, also trying to get caught up into this. It's pretty heavy approaching Green Lake and then south of the zoo, almost half the way through Queen Anne. So not a great drive there. Lake City Way also caught up into this at the south end part of that drive too. Looking at the one crash that's still active on the board, the left lane remains blocked at Valley Ave on westbound 410 for all of our friends coming out of the Bonnie Lake area. 2.5 mile backup there that begins right there basically at Veterans Memorial, goes all the way down the hill. So not a good day for you guys. And then Puyallup to Renton's running about 55 minutes. Renton to Bellevue is 40. The S-curves are slow, and then we have brake lights from 90 up into downtown Bellevue. Olympia to Tacoma is back up to about 50 minutes now. A lot of volume and a lot of sun glare coming down the hill into Lacey and then working your way back up to DuPont. But after that, it's not too bad of a drive, and Tacoma's in pretty good shape. The Federal Way to Seattle drive, also about an hour, kind of a garden variety day for you guys. 16 doesn't look too bad. 18 over Tiger Mountain does have some brake lights, but you can manage it over to the summit, and then the lake bridges are in good shape. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Looking over there at Manda, cracking up.
Speak. I'm reading the Mr. Kim list right now. Okay.
We're going to talk about it. How about that?
We're going to have to, because it's killing me. Okay, the forecast. Should I do that real quick?
Yeah.
Sunny, 84 for today. Absolutely beautiful. And then tomorrow, little blip in the forecast. We'll see some showers, thunder showers, a possibility, a little gusty too, but some sun breaks and a high of only 70 tomorrow. Back to the sunshine by Friday afternoon and a gorgeous summer weekend ahead. Sunny Saturday and Sunday with highs on either side of 80. Right now in Seattle, we have sunshine and 60.
Okay, so the commentary was about a list I got at a Mongolian grill, tips for a happy marriage from Mr. and Mrs. Kim. I did the commentary on it, and I have the actual list. Amanda's been reading through it for the very first time.
I'm crying.
We're going to talk about it coming up next on Seattle's Morning News.
Everyone always asks me, what were your top reasons for choosing Advanced Hair? Well, allow me to share, along with some details on, get this, their once-a-year summer savings event. Okay, first off, Advanced Hair stands by the results, and I'm living proof those results are second to none. With Advanced Hair, your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. Secondly, Advanced Hair combines top-rated physicians with modern technology, creating a concierge quality experience that blew away my expectations. And lastly, Advanced Hair's Advanced FUE begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. It is quick, simple, and easy. Now, if you have a flexible schedule this summer and you've been waiting for that special savings opportunity, well, it's here. Advanced Hair's Summer Savings Event will get you the most hair for your dollar. It's their best offer ever. For details to schedule your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. Your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Join the Mariners at T-Mobile Park August 7th to 9th for 50 Season Celebration Weekend. Friday postgame, catch the Alumni Home Run Derby featuring Ichiro and other former Mariners sluggers. Presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. On Saturday, arrive early to witness the greatest gathering of Mariner legends in franchise history. And Sunday, score a collectible 50 Seasons pin thanks to KeyBank.
It just continues. Fire, oh my!
Seats are going fast. Get yours at mariners.com/tickets.
Not all roofs are created equal, and not all warranties are either. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Right now, take advantage of free lifetime Golden Pledge warranties on all GAF shingle installations. And save up to $3,000 or choose 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. Summertime savings won't last forever. Protect your home with a roof you can count on for decades. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
News matters. Experience counts. You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Look what you've started, Charlie.
I know. So this actually came across my Facebook memories because I think if you weren't listening, the commentary was about the Pack Highway Mongolian Grill. No longer exists.
It was about how to have a happy marriage.
And at the Mongolian Grill, they had a list at every table, a bunch of advice for a happy marriage. Came up as a Facebook memory, and I thought Mr. Kim had some really wise advice. So that's what I did the commentary on. Mm-hmm. But I have the whole list on my Northwest.
Yes, I see that.
Yeah, all right. So let's see. Some of the ones I thought you might find interesting. Husband takes jacket off. Wife sees photo of her clipped to his shirt. She asks, why is that there? Husband says, so you will always be close to my heart when we are apart.
Now, see, that is sweet.
Would your husband do that?
No.
Okay.
Actually, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Wow.
You know, the other one that I really like, number 10 here.
Yeah.
Number 10.
While out shopping, hold your wife's hand. Why? Shows everyone you are happy and have a good life.
Aww.
That's just beautiful.
I don't know. 11's pretty good. Wife should wait on husband while out with friends. Get napkins, water, or whatever he needs. Parentheses. Husband while at home waits on wife. Why? Husband is king. Just kidding.
Husband is king.
That's what Mr. Kim says.
Mrs. Kim has some really good ones, too, by the way.
And like the first couple ones we can't even read on a family program.
18.
No.
Help wife clean up the house once a month.
Yeah.
Just vacuum. Well, that's like 1/100th of what needs to be done.
Well, 18 for her is really good, too. If your husband is out drinking, wife, anytime, call okay. Pick him up.
Pick him up.
Didn't you say Holly already does that for you?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
Number 28 is do not call your wife fat. Just
Nice.
say you would appreciate it if she can watch her weight.
Oh, ouch. Not so kind.
But then Mrs. Kim says, do not look down on your husband because he doesn't make enough money. Do not ignore your husband or make fun of him in front of people.
Okay, that's fine. 30 for Mr. Kim. Do laundry for your wife and have her fold clothes.
Hey, I'm more than happy to dump things in the
In my
washing
house,
machine.
I'm not allowed to fold clothes because I don't fold them perfectly.
Are we glossing over the all the oil massaging?
Yes, actually.
I'm just making sure. That comes up an awful lot. Maybe that's the key to the marriage. I'm not
It
really
could very
sure.
well be. Could very well be.
We've got some folks texting in. We got Jeff from Renton saying, tell Charlie, I thank mine every morning for not smothering me in my sleep. So,
that's
yeah. No, that's kind of the way it is at the Harger house, too.
The husband is always thinking about the happiness, says Mrs. Kim.
Yeah. Give your wife a free time at least once a week.
Number 7, the husband is the number one taking care of his house.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Okay. Again, this is what works for them.
The Kims are doing great here. Let's see. Serve your husband his favorite foods. Help feed him like a king once a month. Number 14, to Sully's point. Bathe your husband, oil massage, question mark?
I thought we were skipping over those.
Wife works away from home. Should buy flowers for her every 6 months.
6 months? That's Wednesday in my house.
Yeah, it's funny. I noticed she gets like a week off to do because she works out but he only gets 1 day to do a thing that he likes. As they go back and forth here.
Number 24, do not put off a job because of kids. Wife needs to try to be Superwoman.
Mrs. Kim does sound like she is Superwoman. Think about this. She's going to the restaurant. She's working her tail off. She's, doing folding laundry.
Taking care of kids.
Yeah.
Putting makeup on. Apparently, that's a really important thing to do before he wakes up.
Yeah. Mr. Kim is a king, after all.
Yeah.
I like Mr. King's number 17, wash the bedding at least twice a month for your wife. I actually do that, and that's just more of a hygiene thing. It's so great getting in the bed when it's nice and fresh.
There's nothing better than fresh.
Oh, yeah. For sure. All right. Well, we have that complete list at mynorthwest.com.
Okay, so you said that the Mongolian Grill no longer exists.
No longer
and you
exists.
don't know where they went.
No.
Which makes me sad because I would really like to patronize their business.
We have a lot of listeners who are in the South End. This was the Redondo Fred Meyer, which is basically Kent, Des Moines area.
Mm-hmm.
It was in that strip mall before they even built the PetSmart. So we don't know where they went. Maybe somebody listening right now knows where the Kim family went.
I would like to meet them.
Yes.
What a cool little thing they did. And it was, what a fun thing to do, too, while you're eating stir fry.
Yeah. Not all of these commentaries can be like, doom and gloom. Sometimes they got to talk about fun things.
Well, that was fun.
There you go. All right. It is 7:53. The trophy husband is back. Sully has a look at traffic for us.
Well, give wife a present for 10th anniversary. Well, geez, I only need to give one present, and it's already and it's 20 years ago? Sweet, okay.
It means you also have to invent a time machine.
Yeah, apparently. Okay. Well, I got some positive news for those of you stuck in Bonnie Lake. The crash on Valley Ave at westbound 410 there has gone out of is clear. And so we're backed up now just getting out of Bonnie Lake, but it clears before you get to Wind Coast. So we're definitely seeing some improvement there. Then you get down to the Valley Freeway, and you're going to have about a 55-minute trip from Puyallup to Renton. And then Renton to Bellevue's a little over 40. Those S-curves are very active. Looks like we might have a new crash on westbound 512 as you work your way over to Parkland right before you get to about Golden Gibbons. Golden Gibbon Road there before Highway 7. So plan on a little bit of a delay there. 45 minutes plus from Olympia to Tacoma. It's very heavy out of Lacey today. And then an hour from Federal Way to Seattle. Kind of a typical day for you guys. The brake lights are really heavy from the beginning of Boeing Field on up. Lake bridges are still fine, and we've settled into the hour and 20-minute trips from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue because of the return of Revive I-5. Hour trip away from Linwood. Also seeing very heavy brake lights on southbound Lake City Way and on Highway 99 before even Green Lake, all the way down across the Aurora Bridge. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
One more. Justin from Australia says actually giving your spouse a trophy every year is literally a participation trophy. I love my wife, but I'm not giving her a trophy for not leaving me.
Oh, I think Mrs. Kim deserves a trophy. Did you read that?
So sweet.
The forecast looks like we'll have a high of 83 in Seattle today. Chance of thunder and lightning tomorrow with rain, a high of 70.
And coming up, KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery on the move in the U.S. Senate this week that could finally bring an end to falling back and springing forward.
This is Seattle's Morning News.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Your coffee would never get cold. Your flight would always be on time. And your mattress would always respond to you and your unique sleep needs. Sleep Number mattresses are designed to respond to your body and shift with your changing life, helping you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
When you see this in your kitchen,
the stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
you hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves, or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we make protecting your home simple and affordable. With flexible financing and 20-plus years of trusted service, you can count on lasting quality from Guardian. Visit GuardianRoofing.com today.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Carrie injured her back years ago.
This is her story.
My herniated disc was so significant that they did the first surgery, the laminectomy and a microdiscectomy. The first surgery failed, and I ended up with another herniated disc, which is pretty typical that herniations just move up your spine. The doctor was recommending another fusion surgery, so I researched alternative therapies, Sound Pain Solutions, developed a plan that included bioelectric therapy, laser therapy, decompression, pressure wave therapy, in addition to rehab. Once we started that comprehensive approach, it went phenomenally. They honestly have given me my life back, and I'm happy to help other patients find sound pain solutions sooner.
Schedule a free consultation to learn if you qualify for our non-surgical and drug-free treatments at soundpainsolutions.com.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
D.R. Horton's National Red Tag Sales Event is going on now through August 2nd. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. On Capitol Hill to be questioned about making his job permanent, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche before the Senate Judiciary Committee. They've all been making opening comments. Blanche.
I'm proud of what we've done to help American families see safer streets and to have a fair shot at the life they're working to build.
Illinois Democratic Senator Dick Durbin.
The president decided to fire the predecessor of Mr. Blanche after just 14 months on the job, after courts and grand juries blocked her from prosecuting the president's political opponents.
After more missile attacks on Iran, a new threat from President Trump.
We're going to knock out all their power plants. We're going to knock out all their bridges unless they get to the table and negotiate.
Iran threatening to stop all energy exports from the region. The monthly producer price index tracking wholesale prices is 5.5% higher than a year ago. This is ABC News. Confirmed cases of Ebola in the Democratic Republic of Congo have reached over 2,000, including over 750 deaths, say government data. Today is the second semifinal in the World Cup, defending champs Argentina facing England. This after Spain beat France. The game's in Atlanta, 3 p.m. Eastern. A normal workday for tree trimmers Isaac and Andrew Reyes in Ponca City, Oklahoma, turning into a long road to recovery. A cable snapped and they both fell 45 feet to the ground. Isaac.
Both knew it was going to happen. He blew right through his bucket on the ground, and my legs absorbed all the force. And yeah, it's pretty much the last thing we remember.
Isaac has a broken leg and 2 broken ankles. His brother Andrew has a fractured jaw, broken nose.
It's been a blessing, shocking for sure. Blessing, a lot of good people in the city.
A comment noting how friends and family set up a GoFundMe online. And local restaurant is hosting a fundraiser for them later this month. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
At 8:02, here's what's happening.
Western Washington Congressman Adam Smith is calling for President Trump to be removed from office. In a video posted yesterday, the Bellevue Democrat described the president's conduct in Iran as an authoritarian takeover.
Boeing's rebound keeps rolling. The company delivered more than 170 commercial planes last quarter, bringing the first half total to more than 300, its best since 2018.
And Warren Buffett says he will not donate to the Gates Foundation this year. That decision comes amid renewed scrutiny of Bill Gates' past meetings with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
We check traffic every 10 minutes. Chris Sullivan is keeping an eye on the Wednesday morning commute.
And we're dealing with an hour-and-a-half drive now from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. 20-minute delays as we deal with the return of Revive I-5. An hour and 10 of that away from Linwood. For 405, the brake lights begin right there at I-5 and continue down through Bothell with just a limited break before you hit them again in Totem Lake. For I-5, a little bit of slowing through the construction zone in Linwood, but then it's really from about 175th all the way down into downtown. So big time delays there. But again, nothing that should shock you. We all knew this was going to happen after a month-long reprieve. Looking at 99 southbound being pretty heavy from before Green Lake all the way down into South Lake Union. Going the other direction, we've got about an hour from Federal Way to Seattle. No surprises for you guys. Heaviest spot there from the north end of Boeing Field on up. 50 plus from Puyallup to Renton. Heaviest spot there from 180th on in. And Renton to Bellevue is about 40. Lake bridges are fine. Still seeing the westbound slowing on 512. We did have a crash that was blocking a lane as you got up towards Highway 7 at Pack Ave, but it's out of the way, but we still have about a 10-minute delay through that corridor. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. AC not working? Don't assume the worst. Home Comfort Alliance repairs first, only replaces if needed. Get a real pricing quote in 60 seconds at homecomfortalliance.com.
8:03 on the Wednesday, July 15th, 2026 edition of Seattle's Morning News. I'm Charlie Harger with Manda Factor.
We are closer than ever before to eliminating the annual time change.
That's because of a House bill that just passed. And following the story for us is KIRO Newsradio's Jillian Raftery.
This is the Sunshine Protection Act. It would keep the U.S. on daylight saving time. That means no falling back in the fall. It would also mean we'd trade 4 p.m. sunsets in the winter for, drum roll, 9 a.m. sunrises. It's been debated for years and has the personal support of the president and Washington's own Senator Patty Murray.
But oh my God, if we can finally get this done, let's do it. I passed this bill out of the Senate in 2022. Last time the House was the holdup. Now the House has passed it, and the White House has said they will support this bill. We have never been closer to getting this done.
But D.C. insiders say Senate leadership may not even bring the bill to the floor over objections from rural and agricultural lawmakers like Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas. Medical professionals almost universally endorse the change, like Professor Nate Watson, co-director of the University of Washington Medicine Sleep Center.
And we know that people sleep on average 40 minutes less after daylight saving, and that effect persists for a couple of weeks.
And our listeners have very strong opinions. David in the 253 thinks we should stay on standard time instead, have later sunsets or have later sunsets and earlier sunrises. Andrew says it's not a big deal to change 1 hour, and he points out that the U.S. tried this in the 70s, but the change was repealed after just 2 years because of those dark, freezing winter mornings. We will be following this closely.
All right, Jillian, thank you for that. That's definitely firing up the text line this morning. It's 8:05.
A 3-alarm fire heavily damaged a commercial building in Seattle's industrial district. Flames started around 1 o'clock in the morning in the 4500 block of 7th Avenue South. KIRO 7 TV's Tyra Majors is on the scene.
When crews arrived, they found a tractor trailer burning next to the building and moved into a defensive attack, fighting those flames from a safe distance. The response was then upgraded, bringing in more crews as smoke continued to fill the air. People who live nearby are being asked to keep their windows and doors closed because of the smoke. We'll keep you updated as this investigation on how this fire started unfolds. Thankfully, no reported injuries here.
King County Prosecutor Lisa Mannion pushing state lawmakers to pass a bill cracking down on copper wire theft, which she says has a tremendous impact on the community.
Not just in terms of course, public safety, but also the impact to our infrastructure, the amount of damage that is caused that is borne by taxpayers. And we can prevent this crime.
She tells the G and Ursula show the bill would require recyclers to photograph any copper wire brought in for sale, give law enforcement the authority to seize stolen wire and trace it back to thieves. She says it's much like the catalytic converter law that took effect last year. The bill was introduced this past session, didn't pass. Mannion expects it to be approved in 2027.
Keeping you informed since 1974.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Well, that's a perfect song for a nice sunny summer morning, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be almost hot today. I think you would consider it hot.
84.
Yeah, that doesn't. It's borderline for me, but yeah. Tomorrow, though, that looks kind of dicey.
Active.
Active, and only 70. Nick said might not even get out over the 60s in Seattle, so we will see about that. Well, here we are. It's Wednesday, July 15th, middle of the week, and if you look over to your left, Amanda, producer David is basically inconsolable right now. The Kleenex is it's just piling up. He hasn't had Mariners baseball for several days now. Are you okay, David?
Did you watch the All-Star game?
No, not really. I mean, I worked,
4-0?
Yeah, well, and it was of little interest because, Randy Arozarena was on the team, which was great. I'm not sure he got one hit. So, yeah, I mean, there's always a little interest there for All-Star Weekend. Obviously, a couple of years ago, it was especially interesting because it was here in Seattle. But, yeah, there's a Mariner-shaped hole in my heart, so I am very excited for Friday.
I was going to say, they're going to be here Friday, and you're going, right?
Yeah, and aren't you going, man?
I'm going, too.
Okay, all right. I'll be asleep. But
on a Friday
my
night?
heart will be with you.
No, it won't. All right. Thanks for being with us this morning. Coming up, big lawsuit from our state against grocery chain Albertsons over the sale of opioids. Former State Attorney General Rob McKenna will break down what's at stake there.
And a new study has Seattle ranked as one of the fittest cities in the country. G. Scott will stop by to weigh in on that.
I get it. It's 8:09. For a long time, we thought there was just one group trying to bring the Sonics back. But the NBA commissioner just dropped a major hint last night that there is secret competition.
Most of the groups that are interested have not been public, and that's any group that's chosen to be public is their decision.
Adam Silver says multiple private bidders are actually fighting to bring a basketball team to Seattle. He says the league is looking at the overall price tag and exactly who makes up these mystery groups. Silver expects the NBA to wrap up the entire expansion process by the end of this year.
King County Sheriff Patty Cole-Tyndall says her deputies have not been asked to help federal immigration agents, and if that changes, there are strict limits on what they can do. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more.
Sheriff Cole-Tyndall says deputies will only assist ICE when there is a judge-signed court order in a criminal case, but not over questions of someone's citizenship status. Cole-Tyndall says if deputies do encounter ICE agents in the field, they are ordered to follow established protocol.
They are supposed to notify chain of command, obviously their supervisor immediately, but they know that they are not to assist.
Sheriff Cole-Tyndall says the county has also joined lawsuits challenging federal efforts to tie immigration cooperation to federal grant funding. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Well, today you will have a chance to weigh in whether data centers should be allowed within Seattle city limits in the future. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin.
Now, according to the data center map, there are 59 of those facilities currently in Seattle right now. In last month's meeting, city council members approved a one-year ban on any new large centers in Seattle. Large is defined as a center that demands more than 20 megavolt amps of electricity, which could power about 16,000 homes. Hundreds of people have been outspoken about the need to make sure that the centers are not actually going to drain the city's resources.
To Skagit County, where there's now a moratorium on data centers there. County Commissioner Peter Browning tells KIRO 7 TV most of the testimony at a public hearing on Tuesday was in favor of the ban.
That was pretty much the tone of everyone. They're not against data centers. They just don't want our water being used when it should be used in farmland, or the power being used when it should be used by the citizens of Skagit County.
Moratorium affects any facilities larger than 2,000 square feet with an electrical load of 2 megawatts or more. Backers say this is a proactive move as no data center applications have been submitted in Skagit County.
In Tacoma, Point Defiant Zoo and Aquarium is investigating the deaths of 3 tufted puffins. As a precaution, the zoo has closed the puffin habitat while lab testing is completed. Officials suspect the birds may have had a bacterial disease. The zoo says there are known human infections linked to the facility, and the risk to guests remains low.
A dog named Nico is safe after falling 40 feet down a cliffside in Graham. This is while he was chasing a rabbit over the weekend. Pierce County Sheriff's Search and Rescue ropes team lowered a deputy down the cliff to grab the stranded pup.
The dog's too friendly. I can't get it to sit still. I'm just so happy to see somebody.
The deputy said Nico wouldn't stop licking him or stay still long enough to get him or her into the harness, so he carried Nico out. She was reunited with her owner the next day. You can see pictures of Nico and the video of her rescue at mynorthwest.com.
Adorable. It's 8:12. Time for a check on the forecast once again. And for that, here's KIRO 7 TV's Nick Allard.
Well, we're looking at some sunshine today, and it's another hot one, but you will see a few more clouds overall compared to yesterday. And especially at the coast, you're going to see some of those filtering in. East of the Cascades, I think you're going to find some showers and thunderstorms increasing later in the day and tonight, and also in the mountains. After that, though, we're going to look for some rain tomorrow with some pockets of showers and thunderstorms on and off throughout the morning and into the afternoon. Just the chances there all over, with temps much cooler in the 60s and 70s. Friday, though, will dry out and see slowly increasing sunshine in the 70s, and then expect to find 80s for the weekend and upper 80s, lower 90s next week.
Right now in Seattle, it's gorgeous. So we have sunshine, 63 degrees.
We check traffic every 10 minutes here on Seattle's Morning News. Chris Sullivan is watching the roads for the Wednesday morning commute.
And we are working with 20-minute delays coming down out of the north end with an hour-and-a-half drive from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. This is Revive I-5 returning with a vengeance, and we have brake lights starting right in Linwood for 405, hour and 10 from there on down into Bellevue. It really is kind of a grind all the way through Kirkland. For I-5, it's not bad through Linwood, but from 175th on down, it is going to be really jammed in there. Again, we don't have the express lanes switching around every morning. That will not happen until this project wraps up in the northbound direction sometime near the end of the year. Going the other direction, Federal Way to Seattle is about an hour with 35 of those minutes from South Sayre, maybe a little bit more depending on how you hit the volume right there past the West Seattle Bridge. West Seattle Bridge itself is kind of backed up coming down the high rise down towards the viaduct there, but not bad overall. Lake bridges are fine, 40 minutes from Renton to Bellevue, still about 50 from Puyallup to Renton, and I'm looking for a new crash in DuPont, kind of near Center Drive, because the brake lights have gotten even heavier as you work your way out of Lacey through Nisqually and then up the hill as well. This is more than just sun glare and volume. We've got 50 minutes at this point. I hope to have more for you on this in 10 minutes. This report brought to you by Subaru of Puyallup. Dependable, fuel-efficient, all-wheel drive models, including the redesigned Subaru Outback. Find stress-free pricing and offers at SubaruofPuyallup.com. Subaru of Puyallup, it is your stress-free dealership.
Bringing you Seattle's morning news since 1974, this is KIRO Newsradio.
Well, there's a big trial getting underway in Washington state as the state's case against grocery chain Albertsons and its pharmacies for its connection to fueling the opioid epidemic in Washington.
This is a lawsuit that could end up resulting in more than $1 billion going towards Washington's drug recovery efforts.
Let's break it all down with former state AG Rob McKenna. Good morning, Rob. Talk to us about this case. What is at stake here?
Well, at stake is, potentially tens of millions of dollars for the state of Washington that it might recover from Albertsons over its claim that Albertsons stores, which would include Safeways now, dispensed hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of pills, powerful opioids, even where there were red flags suggesting that they shouldn't. For example, a red flag for a particular doctor who was signing prescriptions for hundreds of thousands of pills. So this is a lawsuit very similar to lawsuits brought all across the country against the big pharmacy retailers. Kroger's already settled, for example, and also on top of lawsuits against manufacturers like Purdue Pharma and distributors of those pills as well, the middlemen between the manufacturers and the pharmacies. That have collectively resulted in billions of dollars being paid to the state for, failures to control opioid abuse.
Rob, aren't pharmacies just supposed to dispense whatever a doctor prescribes?
This is a key defense that Albertsons and the other pharmacies have mounted across the country over many years. They said, look, it's the doctors who are key. We can't fill a prescription or fill an order for pills without a prescription from a doctor who's authorized to write prescriptions. And at the same time, they point out that they can be liable if they fail to fill prescriptions from doctors. There have been instances where pharmacists have been threatened with the loss of their licenses for refusing to fill prescriptions that were signed by physicians. So they feel like they're caught between a rock and a hard place in that regard. On the other hand, we do know that there have been some doctors, relative handful, but a significant number who operated pill mills or otherwise just, signed prescriptions like crazy for opioids and allowed them to get into the hands of people who abused them or who sold them. And there's one example the state of Washington uses of an individual who, picked up prescriptions that some doctor signed for hundreds of thousands of pills.
Does Washington deal with these opioid-related drug prescriptions differently than other states?
I think it's pretty similar, actually. There are rules, developed across the country to govern pharmacy that are, copied from state to state, rules that, govern prescription systems like this red flagging system where when you see a large number of prescriptions from a single physician over a relatively short period of time, that's supposed to raise questions. But, these pharmacies and these retailers operate on relatively thin margins, and they have limited teams to chase down every red flag, and sometimes they get overwhelmed. And it's possible that in the case of Albertsons, the team they formed to address diversion and look into red flags just didn't have the resources to keep up with the demand.
Okay, well, let's hit the rewind button. 30 years or so ago, the federal government was reluctant to go after tobacco companies. A coalition of state AGs, including your predecessor, Chris Gregoire, goes after tobacco industry, gets a massive settlement. Your office, I'm sure, was largely in charge of implementing many of those settlement funds. Can you just give us a comparison going after opioid pharmacies and the tobacco lawsuit of 3 decades ago?
Well, the tobacco lawsuit was about evidence that the tobacco companies, the cigarette makers, were hiding evidence about the addictiveness of nicotine. Some people claim that they actually, were designing cigarettes to be more addictive. That's a concern, by the way, that's been raised about some vaping products. And that's right now, the big concern that the states have is with vaping because, the market is dominated by illegal vaping products that come in from China and elsewhere. But back in the day, with the tobacco companies, they had fended off lawsuits by individuals who said that they were misled. They didn't have accurate information about the addictiveness of smoking, and then they contracted lung cancer or another disease. And it wasn't until the states came into the picture and were able to use their investigative power that they were able to collect the evidence that, in fact, tobacco companies had been misleading the public and misled Congress and so forth. And that led to the settlement that then Attorney General Gregoire co-authored. She put in years of work on it, and it is an historic settlement. I spent years enforcing it, just as you suggested, when I came into office. But the liability theories there were, somewhat different than what we're seeing with pharmacies, with drug makers, et cetera, where, the latter arguments are really about, in the case of the manufacturers and Purdue Pharma, that they were actively promoting the increasing use of opioids, against evidence that they were highly addictive and should have been more carefully controlled.
Just about out of time, but what's your prediction in this case?
Well, normally in litigation, even after a trial starts, you'll see a settlement before the end of trial, and it's very common anyway. And I wouldn't be surprised if ultimately Albertsons does choose to settle. But then again, they might feel strongly enough about their case that they're going to go all the way to the end and see what the result is in court.
Former State AG Rob McKenna. Rob, thank you for your time this week, and we'll check in with you soon.
Terrific. Thanks, guys.
Seattle leaders are considering changes to the city's drug ordinances to address open-air drug use, as we hear from KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman.
Public Safety Chair Bob Kettle argues those previous ordinances aren't enough. That's why he's pushing for amendments to the current city ordinance.
All right, y'all, sign it back up.
Giving police officers more leeway to call on PDA staff and other service providers to meet them out in the field on certain cases.
So the bill here is looking to provide that clarity because it's so important for the officers to be clear, to have clear direction in terms of what they're looking to do.
Clarity Kettle believes is needed.
Whether it's to go forward with diversion in those cases where it's appropriate or jail. And this really goes to dealing with the drug markets.
Comes just a week after the King County Department of Public Defense released its study on sexual exploitation cases.
It argues alleged so-called Johns should not be charged with a felony. The department looked at cases from 2022 to 2025 along Seattle's Aurora Avenue. It found 80 of 81 people with a misdemeanor for sexual exploitation did not reoffend. With all this in mind, the Department of Public Defense says their study shows no evidence that classifying street-level purchase of sex should be a felony. King County Public Defender Matt Sanders saying, quote, "This proposal would disproportionately harm communities of color without improving public safety. If Seattle wants to reduce harm along Aurora, city leaders should invest in strategies grounded in evidence," end quote.
It's 8:23.
And that's time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes on the threes. Chris Sullivan, what's happening?
Well, I've been looking for this crash near Center Drive. Haven't been able to find it on northbound I-5 in the DuPont area, but the travel time tells me that there's something there. We got about an hour drive from Olympia to Tacoma, so that's a 15-minute delay. We also have a bunch of sun glare in that area, so coming up from Olympia is not going to be an easy drive. But once you're past DuPont, it's a pretty good drive. The rest of the way on up, a little slowing around 72nd. Tacoma itself in general is not bad. Then Federal Way to Seattle's about an hour, kind of a typical day for you guys. Not too bad past the Kent-Des Moines Road, but really from the beginnings of Boeing Field on up, it's going to be heavy. West Seattle Bridge also caught up in this as well as you're trying to merge in there, so it's backed up from the high rise. But again, nothing out of the ordinary. Back under 50 minutes from Puyallup to Renton as the brake lights in Auburn are easing off, as is the drive at the north end. Still have about 35 to 40 minutes in the Renton area on up into Bellevue. There's a nice long gap as you work your way through Newcastle up towards I-90. Then you hit it again there. The Lake Bridge is not bad. I-90 does have some slowing approaching the Mount Baker Tunnel. 520 is reasonably wide open. Coming down from the north end, boy, hour and a half trip. Welcome back to reality with Revive I-5. Hour and 10 minutes of that away from Linwood as we see 20-minute delays total over what you might have expected. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
We are looking for a high today of 84. Tomorrow, quite a change with rain, thunder, lightning, a high of 70. Right now in Seattle, it's 62.
Coming up, we're hearing there may be multiple bidders looking for ownership in a future NBA team here in Seattle. We'll get the details from KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery.
And a Supreme Court justice says she had to wear a bulletproof vest ahead of issuing a decision. What she had to say to Congress. We'll speak with ABC's Rich Frankel for that coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
State Senator Jamie Peterson drafted one of the state's most progressive taxes to date, the income tax on millionaires.
Engaging conversation.
We pay teachers the fourth highest of any state in the country.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
The Seahawks! They're bringing it home again!
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Welcome to this week's Puget Sound Express Whale Report. According to naturalists with Puget Sound Express, the Salish Sea is absolutely packed with whales right now. The past week has seen nearly 20 different humpbacks in the waters off of Port Angeles, with tremendous displays of breaching and lunge feeding. Not to be outdone, biggest killer whales have also been gathering in large numbers, with various families traveling and hunting together throughout Puget Sound. Summer is heating up, and so is the whale watching. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers daily guaranteed whale watching tours departing from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Puget Sound Express also offers tours out of Port Townsend and Port Angeles on the Olympic Peninsula. Orcas, humpbacks, minke whales, and so much more. Don't miss out on your chance to see whales in the wild. Family-run Puget Sound Express guarantees you'll see whales or your next trip is free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half-heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog. Well, they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Our front paws, hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Whether it's help with hormone therapy, weight management, or sexual health, every woman should have access to affordable prescription medication and personalized care that understands the whole woman. Join me, Dr. Doug Lucas, clinical lead of hormone optimization and longevity at LifeMD, along with other leading experts on the podcast, Here's Something Good on Women's Health and Longevity. To learn more, go to lifemd.com.
Healthcare costs are rising, and a major driver is hospital prices. They've increased more than 250% over the past 25 years. Families and local businesses are feeling it. At Primera Blue Cross, we're working to change that by negotiating with hospitals to secure fair, responsible prices so you can get the care you need at a cost you can afford. That's coverage that counts. Learn more at coveragethatcounts.primera.com.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we know the key to a long-lasting roof is yearly maintenance. Need an inspection, repair, restoration, moss removal, or just a cleanup? You can trust Guardian's licensed, insured, and expertly trained team. We offer free estimates, second opinions, and financing, giving you the peace of mind your home deserves. Call today. Our first-time customers can save $99 on our award-winning roof repair and cleaning service. Visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Progressive knows you've got plenty of things to worry about.
What time does the kids' practice end? How long has that check engine light been on? Are takeout containers microwave safe?
So the last thing you should have to worry about is what to do if something unexpected happens on the road. That's why if you're ever in a major accident, Progressive's accident response can detect it and send help. It's just one less thing to worry about.
How long does chicken last in the fridge?
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn, understands the pressure that comes from owing money to the IRS. Don't let that pressure build. Call None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 8:30, and we have breaking news.
Federal judges in Seattle are setting the stage for a massive legal showdown with the White House.
The Seattle Times reports right now a panel of judges just appointed Roger Rogoff as the new U.S. Attorney for Western Washington. He replaces President Donald Trump's controversial pick, Charles Neal Neil Floyd. The president appointed Floyd as an interim prosecutor, but never formally nominated him for Senate approval.
Now, under federal law, that extended delay gives local judges the power to appoint their own replacement. But the White House insists judges do not have the power to pick U.S. attorneys. Legal experts fully expect the DOJ to fire Rogoff immediately. If that happens, Rogoff is expected to sue the federal government, sparking a constitutional fight.
We'll keep an eye on that for you. Well, basketball fans, this one is for you. There may be a secret bidding war going on for a potential NBA return to Seattle.
And with the details, here's KIRO Newsradio's Jillian Raftery.
This comes straight from NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. He was asked at a press conference last night if expansion talks were still on track, given that only one potential ownership group has come forward in the Northwest. And this is what he had to say.
In terms of public, most of the groups that are interested have not been public. And that's any group that's chosen to be public is their decision.
So that means there may be multiple interested parties behind the scenes jockeying to bring a team to Seattle. We do not know who they are. This process has been very secretive so far. But back in 2013, the last time Seattle was this close to getting a team, billionaire Chris Hansen and former Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer teamed up. Everyone from former Sonics fans to high school kids to Seattle's Mayor Katie Wilson have been lobbying hard for this expansion process.
Seattle knows champions. From the Storm to the Sounders. From the Seahawks to the Rainier Beach community.
We've been preparing, and Seattle's ready to take our shot. Let's bring the Supersonics home.
We are expecting to hear more at the next Board of Governors meeting in September.
Thank you, Jillian. It's 8:32.
A 3-week-old seal pup rescued near Bellingham is recovering after veterinarians discovered a bullet wound to its head. The young seal is at the Sea Life Response Rehab and Research Center.
First requiring specialized care in our surgery suite, he has been getting stronger and is now outside with the rest of the pups.
2 adult harbor seals shot in similar attacks over the past 9 months later died from their injuries. The nonprofit caring for the pup has referred all 3 cases to NOAA and federal wildlife investigators.
8:33. We check traffic on the 3s. Time for an update from Chris Sullivan.
And we've added 5 minutes to our trip to what was already a very difficult drive on I-5 southbound because of the lack of the express lanes. We have an hour and 35-minute trip now from Everett into Seattle, with an hour and 15 of that away from Linwood. And you're probably thinking, Chris, what are you talking about? It's great. I'm going fast through Linwood and Mount Lake Terrace. Yeah. Then you hit the buzzsaw right at 175th, and it is a grind all the way down into downtown. 405, you hit it early, right there at Linwood, and then you're down through Total Lake before it eases off. So it kind of gets better in reverse. That's kind of what we saw for the first 6 months of this year, and that's what we're going to have for the rest of the year as Revive I-5 has returned. So it's about an hour and a half as well from Everett into Bellevue. Northbound I-5 has picked up about 10 minutes now that we cleared the crash in DuPont, back down to 50 minutes from Olympia to Tacoma, which is still about 5 to 8 minutes slower than I'd like to see. Once you're through that, the rest of Pierce County is in pretty good shape. Little westbound slowing continuing on 512 into Parkland, crash over on the right shoulder, still causing a little bit of trouble there. Federal Way to Seattle back under an hour, but not by much. We got about a 35-minute trip out of South Center, really heavy those last couple of miles. Rented to Bellevue now up to 45 minutes as we see brake lights over the top of I-90 as well. Valley Freeway's got about a 50-minute trip. The Lake Bridges, though, are in good shape. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Gorgeous day, mostly sunny, 84 for today. Tomorrow's going to look a little bit different. Showers at times. We might see some thunder showers, a high of only 70, a little gusty at times too. But rebounding for the weekend, some clouds Friday morning, sunshine by afternoon, and 76. Both Saturday and Sunday look beautiful, right around 80. Little toasty, though, starting the first part of next week will be in the upper 80s. Right now, sunny and 63 in Seattle.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime. Seattle's morning news, wherever you are.
Rare appearance on Capitol Hill as 2 Supreme Court justices sat before a House Appropriations panel to explain why the court needs millions of dollars for increased security. Justice Amy Coney Barrett detailed the time she had to bring home a bulletproof vest.
Were particularly intense a few years ago around the time of the Dobbs leak. My security detail sent me home with a bulletproof vest, and I carried it into my house, put it into my bedroom, dropped it down on a table, turned around, and my 12-year-old son was standing in the doorway of my bedroom, and he wanted to know what it was and why I had it, and I didn't know how to respond.
ABC's Rich Frankel is a former special agent in charge with the FBI. He joins us live. Rich, that was pretty chilling to listen to.
You know, the threat to the Supreme Court justices has dramatically increased over the last few years, not only to Justice Barrett, but to Justice Kavanaugh, and actually to the entire bench. I believe that everyone on, whether associate justices or the Chief Justice, has received something that has caused them to think that they're either being threatened or that there could be harm coming to them. And so therefore, they're asking for a dramatic increase in security.
Do we know what kind of increase we're talking about and what that would look like?
Yeah, so they're asking for basically across the board security. So the Supreme Court is actually one of the only locations, I think, in D.C. that doesn't have a standalone facility that handles entry into the building. In other words, the visitors are searched, go through the magnetometers, and packages are searched before they actually enter into the Supreme Court itself. And so I think they want to actually build that standalone facility that doesn't bar people from coming in, but provides additional security to the justices. They're looking for cybersecurity. As you just mentioned, there were those leaks earlier on, several years ago, and there continue to be issues with cyber. And so they want to increase their cybersecurity. And then finally, they are asking for what I would call executive protection or Secret Service protection increases for each of the justices so that they have a dedicated team to protect them while they come to and from the courthouse, as well as they go to their other duties and events associated with being a justice of the Supreme Court.
Is this an unusual request, or is this just kind of a statement on where we are right now?
I think it's an unusual request in that they've never done that, and they have actually not even appeared before Congress since 2019. It's usual in the sense that, listen, there's always increases in security. There are always security changes, security, new mechanisms, new procedures. But the fact that they came to the court and asked for it in the way they did, that is unusual. And it shows that they feel that there is an ongoing new threat picture and new threat priorities associated with the Supreme Court.
Rich, what are these concerns we're hearing about drones?
Yeah, drone technology is changing day to day. We've had hundreds of drones at the World Cup event that had to be stopped from flying over. There are drones that they're afraid can be used and put basically some type of device on it that could cause harm, whether it's an explosive device or any other type of weapon. Or it's just used to identify what people are doing and use it for surveillance type of data and intelligence against the Supreme Court justices. So the police, the Supreme Court police officers are asking that they receive enhanced training and enhanced technology that they can identify these drone threats above either the Supreme Court or the justices' homes, and they have the ability to take down those drones or at least identify who are flying those drones.
We're just about out of time, but Rich, as a former special agent in charge with the FBI, how would you characterize overall national security today?
So it is a changing environment. We've always had national security concerns pre 9/11, post 9/11, but here we have the Iranian threat. We have threats from Russia, China. We have threats from countries that you actually don't think are a threat as far as certain national security concerns. Some are more dangerous, are terrorist type threats or actual threats to harm, whether it's the president or our other leaders. And then others are just to identify, some of our technology, some of our knowledge base, and take that, steal it, and use it for their own use. So it's a ever increasing, changing national security threat. But I think right now, if we have all of our agencies, all the members of the intelligence community, the military, looking into it, we're in a pretty good place. We just have to make sure that they stay focused on that and are willing to change with the changing threat environment.
First time on the show with us, ABC News contributor, former FBI special agent in charge, Rich Frankel. Thanks for joining us on Seattle's Morning News.
Thank you. Have a great day, guys.
Step inside and let the excitement take you places. This is Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the ultimate spot for action that reaches incredible heights, luxury that knows no bounds, and live entertainment that always thrills. It's all at one incredible destination. So when you look for the best, look nowhere else. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the biggest and best in the Northwest. Muckleshoot.
Les Schwab Tires has always believed that taking care of people is the right thing to do. Today, that means more than trusted service. It means delivering real value, too. That's why we're lowering prices on hundreds of tires without changing the service and expertise you've always counted on. Consumer Reports named Les Schwab the best tire retailer for 2026. We'll keep working every day to earn your trust. See leschwab.com for details.
Honey, did you invite the minions over?
Well, you know how we talked about getting Wi-Fi from Xfinity?
Yeah.
I ordered it this morning, was online in minutes, then they showed up.
So they just came over to use the Wi-Fi?
They even brought their own devices and spell book.
You didn't give them the new Wi-Fi password, right?
No.
That's good.
I gave them our old one. Because Xfinity lets us keep the same network name and password so devices connect instantly.
What do they want Wi-Fi for anyways?
Better not to know. Plausible deniability.
Get streaming or scheming instantly with same-day Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Plus, lock in one price for the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi for 5 years. Guaranteed. And see Minions and Monsters only in theaters. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
At 8:43, we check traffic every 10 minutes on the threes. Chris Sullivan is here.
And we continue to have a really rough go out of the north end as we are back to our first couple of days of Revive I-5. Looking at an hour and 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle, an hour and a half from Everett to Bellevue. Brake lights are just bumper to bumper there through the Linwood area on 405 down through Totem Lake. Hour and 10 just from Linwood there. About an hour and 15 for Everett to Seattle. But the brake lights don't really begin on 5-5 until you get to 175th and Shoreline. But boy, from there on down, it is ugly. On 99 southbound, we're seeing some braking approaching Green Lake, but then from the zoo south all the way through Queen Anne into downtown. Lake City Way also in the westbound southbound direction also caught up in this. So we're back to reality. West Seattle Bridge now starting to back up over to the West Seattle side all the way to the beginnings of the high rise, all the way over to I-5, trying to merge in there, and that's causing the braking on northbound I-5 that we have. About a 52-minute trip from Federal Way to Seattle, though, is not too bad. Valley Freeway easing off in Auburn. Still have some work to do at the north end, but we're under 50 minutes on that drive. Then 45, maybe a little under from Renton to Bellevue, depending on how you hit the volume at I-90. A lot of weaving and merging there through all those on and off ramps there right at that interchange in Factoria, South Bellevue. And through the S-curves is relatively normal. 18 over Tiger Mountain, heavy in the eastbound direction to the summit, but after that, really not bad. The Valley Freeway is easing off, as I said. Still seeing some brake lights through Nisqually, coming up through DuPont, but the travel time back under 50 minutes from Olympia to Tacoma, so we are getting there. The lake bridges are in good shape. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Another mostly sunny day. We're headed for a high of 84 for today, and then a big cool down tomorrow. Only 70 with a threat of some showers, maybe even thunder showers, a little bit gusty too. But then Friday, clouds in the morning, sunshine again by afternoon, 76. Beautiful weekend ahead, Saturday and Sunday, around to 80 both days and into the upper 80s for Monday and Tuesday. Right now in Seattle, sunshine and 63 degrees.
Seattle makes a list as one of the fittest cities in the country. G. Scott will stop by with his reaction coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
Remember when you didn't have to think about energy? You just had it? Well, now it's the midday crash, the sleepless nights, the moments where you catch yourself thinking, what happened to me? Well, here's the thing. Nothing's wrong with you. Your hormones just stopped holding up their end of the deal. At Juvacor Health and Wellness Center, hormone replacement therapy isn't a guessing game. It starts with a real sit-down conversation with a female provider who has heard your story before because she hears it every single day. You're going to love Dr. Lucy Hostetter. She is a board-certified physician and has spent 7 years doing one thing exceptionally well. that is helping women feel like themselves again. Your treatment is built around your labs, your symptoms, and your life, and the follow-up is real because feeling better shouldn't be a one-appointment promise. Now they have 2 convenient locations, Tacoma and Bellevue. They expanded from their flagship home at Seattle Regenerative Medicine Center. Great care is now closer than ever. Stop Googling your symptoms at 2 in the morning. Start a conversation with someone who actually has some answers. JuveCoreHealth.com. That's JUVE CoreHealth.com. Feel like yourself again.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep discounts. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. Buckle up. It's going to be a hot summer. And if you have poor or no insulation in your attic, you could be losing up to 40% of your energy efficiency. Fortunately, Valentine Roofing has you covered. This summer, bundle energy-saving attic insulation with a new roof and save 10%. Plus, with no money down on your project, you don't pay until your project is complete. Call 206 Roofing to save 10% when you bundle a new roof and attic insulation. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
This is Ricky Rubio, point guard for the Phoenix Suns.
And I'm Holly Robinson Peete, actor and along with Ricky, ambassador for Delivering Jobs. We know that a job is empowering and instills confidence. Yet 81% of adults with developmental differences don't have a paid job, even though companies that employ people with differences report better morale and higher productivity.
There are 6.5 million people in the U.S. with an intellectual or developmental difference such as autism.
And now, thanks to Autism Speaks, Best Buddies, the Holly Rod Foundation, and Special Olympics, there has never been more opportunity to improve hiring practices and build a more inclusive workforce. Join me, Ricky Rubio, and these amazing organizations in supporting and creating pathways to 1 million employment and leadership opportunities for this talented community.
Visit deliveringjobs.org to learn more.
That's deliveringjobs.org.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
Well, here he is. G. Scott from the G and Ursula Show, coming up 9 to noon here on KIRO News Radio. Good morning, G.
Hey, good morning, y'all. Y'all doing good?
Great. You're looking fit this morning.
Well, I'm glad you brought up. Wow. Manda with the segue about being fit. Speaking of that, Seattle Times article, Seattle was just ranked the 4th fittest city in America, according to the 2026 American Fitness Index. That ranking looked at things like physical activity, parks, trails, walkability, bike infrastructure, and overall community health. So it isn't just gym membership. You can actually be fit and not go to the gym. Or if you're like those that like to get out in the garden and stuff like that. By the way, I think gardening, if you do gardening, that's one of the most underranked workouts in the world.
Oh, that's
Seriously.
Squatting?
Yes. So I believe this. You know, I know a lot of people spend their time complaining about Seattle often, but once again, Seattle proves how beautiful it is. Green Lake, Tiger Mountain, Burt Gilman Trail. You want to do your paddle boating over there on Lake Union. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things to do here. By the way, side note, I just left Buffalo, New York. You want to compare Buffalo, New York to Seattle?
Not very fit.
Okay, yeah. But here's the thing we can't ignore. Of course, David knows. I'm going to go ahead and shout this out. there's healthy and there's still mental health issues. So we can be the fittest city here in the country, but being fit and living next to nice parks and trails doesn't mean that mental health isn't still a topic. But more importantly, I want to give a shout out to, once again, Seattle being one of the top cities in the country. And one last thing, I was thinking about like menus. If you guys go to barbecues or get-togethers or family outings, I want you to, for a second, think about the menu in Seattle. Think about the menu if you have family in the Midwest. Think about the family if you have the menu if you have family in the South. Those menus are totally different. Example, growing up, let me tell y'all something. I ain't never seen a salad at a barbecue when I was coming up in Chicago. Never.
You can't have a meal without a salad here.
Potato salad, we saw that. But here in Seattle area, right, you're going to see some salads. You're going to say it's going to be some kale. And by the way, when we did have salad, it was iceberg lettuce and French dressing back in Chicago. But out here in Seattle, you really see some healthy things on the menu, especially salmon. By the way, one last thing.
You've said that 3 times.
I know, because I got so much stuff on my mind. I got to tell y'all something. So I was at the family reunion. And my auntie says, oh, I got to get back out to Seattle. You guys have the best salmon in the world. I love your salmon. And then I had another cousin check. Oh, yeah, do they? I love salmon. I did not have the heart.
You didn't say anything?
No. You ever have your elders say something like...
You could have saved
Sometimes they say something outrageous and you still don't say nothing. But in this case, it was salmon. I didn't have the heart to say it.
Growing up, did you call it salmon?
Me?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Did you really?
Yes. I didn't learn it was salmon until I moved here.
You could have prevented future ridicule for your family.
I couldn't do it. You've never had a family member say some things like my grandmother, may she rest in peace, would always say frustrated. And by this time, I'd gone to school. I knew, but you don't. There's some things that your parents or grandparents used to say.
Combining flustered and frustrated.
Yeah, I guess,
serving syllables.
Sometimes you just, stay in your lane. Don't say anything.
That's funny.
What you got, Charlie?
I got nothing. I'm just thinking, is coleslaw a salad?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Is potato salad a salad? No.
No.
Okay.
Is
fruit salad?
Is hot dog?
Fruit salad.
Is hot dog a sandwich?
Oh my gosh! Let's not bring that up again.
No one's ever talked about this on talk radio before.
I'm going to give something because lately I feel like Manda has been kicking me out on some good. I've been saying good stuff. So here's something. Here we go.
Is it the final thing?
38 years ago, Die Hard was released.
Not a Christmas
July
movie.
15th,
favorite Christmas
1988.
Not a Christmas movie.
Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
It's one of the
Thank
best
you,
holiday
G.
films.
You may be excused. G and Ursula coming up.
Sully, take it away.
And we are looking at improving conditions in most places. Where that's not happening is coming down out of the north end. We're still struggling with an hour and 35-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. It is just the grind that we're going to get used to for the rest of the year as we see the brake lights in the usual places. Hour and 10 plus away from Linwood. It's 99 southbound, backed up from before Green Lake all the way into South Lake Union. Northbound I-5 is trying to get better through the Federal Way to Seattle Drive, primarily at the north end, back to about 50 minutes, maybe a little under. And we're back to under 45 from Olympia to Tacoma, so we're getting there. Pierce County is cleaning out. Valley Freeway's back under 45, so that's great. Renton to Bellevue, only 35 minutes there. The Lake Bridges are still good, so we've made it through the fray. The problem is, if you're coming down from Snohomish County, you got a lot of work to do. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. AC not working? Don't assume the worst. Home Comfort Alliance repairs first, replaces only if needed. Get a real pricing quote in 60 seconds. HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Our forecast, sunny and warm again today. 84 the high. Tomorrow, a big change. Showers, maybe thunder showers, and gusty, and only 70. It's 63 right now.
Coming up, G and Ursula show how kids' attention spans are impacting the film industry. More on that story coming up on KIRO News Radio.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new break you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-900-1717. 800-900-1717. 800-900-1717.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
It is summertime, which means sunshine, baseball games, beach trips, hiking, fun with the family, and Brad, I'll bet it's easier to pay for with free checking from WaFd Bank.
That's right, Dave. Set your financial goals and stick to them with free checking. No minimum balances or monthly maintenance fees to worry about. Hey, you'll also get spending tools to help you stay on top of your budget. Not only is WaFd Bank rated the best bank, we have more than 200 branches to serve you across 9 western states.
And tell me more about this card control feature I've heard so much about.
Dave, you can view transactions for individual cards, set controls and alerts, and if you forget your card at the restaurant, you can instantly turn it off while you go back to get it. You'll also have access to free tools like Zelle, mobile check deposit, and when those unfortunate times happen, submit fraud disputes right inside the WaFd mobile app.
And don't forget, you can choose from some great-looking debit cards, including Seattle Kraken and Seattle Seawolves cards. So visit WaFdBank.com and open your account today. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply. Member FDIC.
How sweet it is!
50 seasons of moments. 50 seasons of legends. A once-in-a-lifetime event. Join Mariners past and present at T-Mobile Park August 7th through 9th for 50 Season Celebration Weekend. The festivities begin Friday with a post-game slugfest, the Alumni Home Run Derby featuring Ichiro and other former Mariners sluggers, presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Saturday will be a showstopper. 50 Season Celebration Night presented by Daktronics. Arrive early to witness the biggest gathering of franchise icons ever assembled as the 50 greatest Mariners from across all 5 decades are revealed.
It just continues.
The weekend wraps up on Sunday with a collectible 50 Seasons pin giveaway thanks to KeyBank. Seats are going fast. Get yours at mariners.com/tickets.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness